dog stream today. Hey Noel, how you doing? Puerto Rico, welcome, welcome. What time is it there? Are you about 8 hours behind or something? Ginos, mate, how you doing? Good to see you. Trevor, good to see you, mate. Are we having a good week? Why the dog's starting to get needy all of a sudden. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Let's get this fired up, get this frozen, get that turned off. That's good. Yeah, started on time. First time for everything. Don't get used to it. Early Christmas present. Don't say I never give you nothing. Got some beautiful people in chat here today. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Gino says ready that early to a stream, so I recognise the lyrics to the song. Yeah. Alan, mate, how you doing? How you doing? Sin, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Grip Snap. Have you Grip Snap? I recognise the logo. Have you changed your name? Yeah. Steve, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Was it Gripes before, or maybe I'm imagining it? Yeah. A few Northerners in here tonight. I see you. That pale pallor. Hey. All good. A good little bit of vitamin D wouldn't hurt you guys. Change my name. Right. Okay. I was like, I recognise the emblem or whatever, like the avatar, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it used to be something different. Yeah. Cool. All right then. So what we're doing today. If you're new here, we kind of do these live streams every couple of weeks, and tend to just cover some bits and pieces in the news if there's anything relevant. A dog could get bored in a minute. And then we kind of talk about a topic that's kind of relevant this week. Want to go over a recent photo shoot I had. Did a Profoto campaign last Friday for their new release, like their new light, their new LED light. The L600C we were using. And yeah, like long time coming. It's a campaign that we've been planning for months now. So I kind of want to go through how that turned out. We can grab some. I took some BTS and stuff and shared those in the stories on Instagram. So I kind of pull those up and we can have a look at those. But yeah, I kind of want to just give my kind of first impressions on that new light, because this is a serious piece of kit from Profoto, right? And they're kind of late to the LED game. Everybody else has kind of already had their LEDs out for a while now, probably years, plural. So, this is a serious piece of kit that they're bringing to the table. Comes at a, Profoto cost, but we can chat about that later. I want to go through that, and then what I'll do is kind of just give some feedback on some images, right? So every Monday we do a share shoot. Let me just pull it up here. You guys can... Let's have a look. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. You guys can share an image in the share shoot on the Monday. So I posted this last night on Facebook. And you guys post some images in the comments here. And then we usually just tend to pull them up on stream, go through them, take a look, see what you guys have been working on, and just offer any feedback or alternatives, different ideas, something, if anybody's struggling with lighting or grading or anything really, then here is the place to kind of post your image and get some feedback on it. Let me just grab the link. If you wanted to pop an image in there and you haven't already done so, I think we got a bunch in there this time around. Oh, actually, let me pop this chat box out. Why do we do that? Is it in here? Pop out chat. There we go. That'll make life easier. Yeah, it's looking good. And we can pop that up there. Just a little bit of housekeeping here. Just keep it tidy. Just make sure. And this also lets me know how low the screen goes on your end as well. Cool. Okay. So post an image in there. Let's see what we got in here today. Let's see what we got in here. Got some fancy ones. Some long exposure. ambient, got some coloured light there from Sterling, looking good. Anders, beautiful as always. Nice bit of warm and cool colours there. Alan, Jersey, nice. Chris, yeah, good stuff, man, good stuff. Okay, so look, a bunch of colourful ones in there, but if anybody wants to add to that, then that is the place to do so. Link is in there. Chris, how you doing, mate? Yeah, how you doing? Alec, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Okay. Okay, right then. Let's see what we get to. Is anybody? Okay, yeah, loving this. Yeah, looking forward to checking this out, Chris. Well done, mate. Good stuff. Yeah, this one. Oh, there might be BTS in that one. Okay, all good. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't put a link in Instagram for the Facebook post. I realised earlier on I put a link to the YouTube video, so that's my bad. But yeah, the link's there if you need it. Okay, so let's have a look at bits and pieces in the news then. Let's see what we're looking at. Where was it? Oh, there we go. Dog's got bored. Finally. Oh yeah, here we go, down here. Yep. Okay. So, as with every week, if anybody's got something that they like a product that they've seen out recently or something like that they wanted to share, let me know and I will take a look. There wasn't a ton of new products. Somebody on Instagram posted that Chris posted that Amaran just released some new lights, which we'll have a look at as well. They're literally just, I think like Chris said, they just announced them like literally moments before we went live, so I haven't really had a chance to look at them myself yet, but yeah. So let's get into these then. So this was sent to me by a guy called Webb, who I've been kind of working with over the years, chatting to, emails and that sort of stuff. We've done some online workshops and that sort of thing, and he is very, very keen on colour, understanding colour and light and how we perceive colour and that sort of stuff. So he's definitely more on the detailed side of it in terms of the getting into the nuts and bolts of it, right? It's not just a case of throwing up a RGB value and taking it from there. But this was a great blog that he sent me, Aperture blog, talking about color and how we understand it and perceive it, and how obviously it's by Aperture, so it's going to be slightly biased. Aperture, I think, are the ones with the Blair technology. So what that means is what they got: blue, lime, amber, indigo and red, I think, and now I think they've added two more chips to their kind of RGB offerings, which is interesting, right? Because as LED technology carries on and evolves, companies are trying to one up one another, right? So it's good for us in terms of the consumer. Like, we're always going to benefit from this competition, and many companies are offering like RGB, and then, like I was just saying there, like the Blair from Aperture is adding more colors, which is going to give us more color range when it actually comes to choosing the colors. So if anybody's ever used RGBs already and they've turned it on, and you're kind of playing with the colors and tweaking the colors, there may be some values, right? Let me see if I can just pull one up here. I think this has got battery life in it. Hang on. Yeah. So this is the, I'll turn that way down to 1%. Yeah, okay. So this is the Rotalight Neo, the little light here. Now, it has like a readout on the back here. I don't know if you can see that, but like basically the spectrum, right? The camera doesn't auto adjust, but basically that spectrum there. Now, some of you may have played with RGBs, and you may have been like scrolling through the colors going, oh yeah, love the changes in these. Now, I'll just point out that I am adjusting this dial continuously, and you'll see that some colors seem to stay the same for longer than others, right? You see the blue, how the blue barely changed there. The same happens again in the reds, right? These are like the extremes of the spectrum, whereas each click in other values, like sometimes around in, you know, like the oranges and yellows and that sort of stuff, and even in the pinks and the pinks and the blue, purple colors, like every single click you get a different color. So what's happening here is that these values are going to almost clump together, especially in the reds and the blues. Yeah. So you can be scrolling through a ton of blue colors in some RGBs, and it doesn't seem to change too much. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have too many different colors in there. Same thing happens with the reds, and this can happen with different areas in RGBs as well. I'm just using the two most obvious ones there. And what these chips are doing, these new chips are doing, adding like indigo and amber and lime and that sort of stuff. Like green is another one that is a particular sticking point. And what they're going to do is give you more variation in these colors, more noticeable variation in these colors. And I've kind of spoken about this issue before. If you're shooting with like a bright red color or bright blue color, you really want to be underexposing those, you know, by at least a stop, if not a stop and a half, so that your camera and your technology is really able to see as much variation in those in those colors that are at the extreme of the gamut, right? So these new chips are coming out. The reason I'm mentioning this as well is that we'll talk about the new Profoto head in a minute, because when I was using that on Friday, their new Profoto head is using RGB, and then it's using a triple white chip, or three chips if you like. So it's using RGB and then white, yeah. And those white chips are basically varying distances on the Kelvin range, and using that, they're able to, you know, get a different take on the Blair chip or whatever it is, right? So so it's an interesting time for LEDs. It's so many different companies are, you know, like touting different values with the CRI and the TL, CR, whatever it is, CI. All, like everybody's touting a higher value and that sort of thing, and you know, everybody's getting. Most people are at 97 now, right? That's kind of the baseline. You can pick up a obviously the max being 100, but yeah, most of them are coming out very high color consistency and quality. So 97 is pretty standard now, even for a budget LED, which is wild. So now they're looking at other ways of trying to achieve that. And this article goes into some of the problems or inconsistencies that we may see that may not be immediately obvious. So like here, tungsten versus gel, right? And this wavelength here. So this has always been touted to me as this like tungsten having this beautiful waveform, right? With very clean waveform, as opposed to traditional RGB white, right? It has gaps in this waveform here, which can tend to leave the skin looking a bit unrealistic, as it were, in plastic. So they're all, ironically, RGB LEDs are ironically all trying to fight to get back to where we were with tungsten, which is bizarre to me, which is burning metal, you know. So yeah, great article. If you're a bit of a nerd when it comes to color and light like me, then definitely check that out. Yeah. Hey Jamie, how you doing, mate? Later the party was playing Dead Space. My phone call there takes okay. Were you playing the new? Was it the new Dead Space? I think they gave it away on PlayStation not too long ago on the PlayStation Plus thing. Yeah. Long time. Dial. Do I know you under a different name on Facebook? Dial, how you doing? Long time no see or hear. Yeah, I mean. I don't recognize the name of Dial 5159, so but yeah, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So that's that one. Let's have a look. So this was pretty cool. I kind of missed this. I'm not a Canon shooter, so I missed this the other day. Remastered on PS Plus. Never played it before. You never played it? What the hell, Jamie? Damn. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played the remaster, but yeah, I managed to grab it when it was free on the store. But yeah. It was nuts at the time, absolutely crazy. So Canon announced this 45mm f1.2 lens. A couple of let's have a look. When did they? Yeah, so start of the month, right? So Canon RF 45mm f1.2 shows faster, but doesn't always need to break the bank. Now, typically, super wide open lenses like this, I mean, even 1.8 used to be pricey. 1.4, 1.2, which is wild, right? And they're doing it for what, $500? Yeah, which is crazy, absolutely nuts. Yeah, so I don't know. I think most of the people in here tend to be shooting Sony, right? There's a couple of Nikon Z users in here, but yeah, I think for the most part people are using Sony. I don't actually know of anybody using the Canon. I think there's one guy at the workshop the other day who had the Canon one, but this is wild, man. This is absolutely crazy for that price. Nuts. Yeah. So this is a phenomenal lens for the money. Yeah. Alec, it's not. I thought it was you, Alan. How you doing, mate? Yeah, I thought it was you, Alan. I thought I recognised the thumbnail. Yeah. Good to see you again, mate. It has been a long time. Yeah. Alec, never too late to shoot Canon. It's true, man. We used to shoot Canon in the studio just all day, every day. The 5D Mark II era. So I don't know when that was. When did that come out? I'm kind of curious now. Already spelled that wrong. 2008, really? Yeah. Okay, so we got it when it came out. We couldn't wait for it to come out. Yeah. Oh, shit. Sorry. Yeah. This thing was a game changer. Like 5D Mark II at the time. Like everybody had one, like 21 megapixels, which was unheard of at the time, but more importantly it was full frame, which meant you just get beautiful drop off. This thing was like this. It's wild to think that this is vintage now, but like everybody had one of these. This thing was such a workhorse, absolutely outstanding. Yeah. 9-point autofocus, like nice. Yeah. Look at this. This was, you got to remember as well. This is funny, man. This was the ISO back in the day as well. 100 to 6400. Yeah, it was funny, man. Yeah, 2008. Anyway, getting sidetracked, but yeah, Canon, in my opinion, has kind of. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's fallen off in recent years. They don't seem to be pushing as much as they used to in the photographic sector. Obviously Canon has lots of other irons in the fire, right? What do they do? Like printers, and I'm sure they're in medical and that sort of thing as well. Nikon to us, is the same to a certain extent. Sony as well. I like that, but yeah, it feels like Canon hasn't been pushing as much as they used to. But this is outstanding. Yeah. Does anybody in here shoot Canon? It's just no way you're not going to get this, right? Like this lens, if you shoot Canon, you just this is such a bargain. And Canon already can't make enough 45mm 1.2 lenses to meet demand. Lenses is already providing too popular ahead of its December release. Canon Japan has warned photographers that it'll be unable to fulfill all current pre-orders at launch. So, I mean, understandably so, right? I mean, it's just anybody with a Canon was definitely going to pick this up. As is always the case, photo companies issue apologies and notice they'll be unable to predict the launch. However, they are certain Canon has received more orders for the RF 45mm than it believes it will have stock in by early December. So I presume you'll start seeing your version of it in the West in 2026, right? But yeah, as a bargain of a lens, yeah. Nita, I'm curious about that lens. Look, man, it's it seems like, I mean, 1.2. I don't know about this. It's not the RF 1.2 sample image provided by Canon. I don't know about this. I'm not blown away by that, if I'm honest. It is $500, so I mean you can't really complain, and it is 1.2, which if you were shooting weddings is huge, right? I'm not over the moon about that bokeh. The Grub says there are quite a few people shooting Canon. I got a couple of friends. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, may just be the pocket that I was in. I didn't see it. Yeah, Steve's Canon. Okay. Yeah. Darius, how you doing, mate? Trevor's team Canon. Okay, so a few of you shooting Canon. Have you guys always shot Canon? Like, were you guys like DSLR, Canon DSLR? Were you like the 5D Mark II boys, and then you kind of evolved into the mirrorless, or were you shooting something else and then went into the Canon mirrorless? Because I get the feeling that probably most of us stay in the same lane, right? Yeah. I still got my Canon 5D Mark III. Okay, yeah. We didn't get that in the studio, so I don't know what the upgrade was. I don't remember it. Yeah. Monster camera at the time. It was, man. It was nuts. It was absolutely game changer. And video as well. I didn't even mention video. Like, video at the time was on full frame, unheard of. This, like, there was some videos at the time shot on that 5D Mark II that kind of just blew the sector wide open, right? Absolutely, yeah, it was nuts. I think people who capitalized on where video went from there, like, I mean, I'm going back, nearly 20 years, yeah, they would have been flying, because that thing was nuts. Yeah. Darius says Canon 5D to Nikon D750, Sony A7 III history of okay, so you had a bunch then. Yeah, you've been in all sorts. Yeah. What are you shooting now, Darius? You Sony right now, I guess, right? Yeah. Gina says I have a Canon S90 pocket camera. Does that count? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, unless we're counting Fuji cameras as pocket cameras now. You've always been Canon since the 40D. Oh, the 40D, nice. Yeah. Trevor's only been shooting 2 years. Oh, really, Trevor? Okay. Yeah, always Canon. Censored as a paid extra. Oh, is it, Jamie? It's not. Shut up. Is it really? I didn't see that. That's wild, man. Is it? Oh. Canon says the lens hood for the RF will also take longer to deliver than initially expected. The company lens hood will be shipped in the order when the order is placed. There are some compromises. This new lens, so it doesn't promise the same image quality as the Canon's pricier professional-oriented optics. Okay, I mean, you got to, like, I get it, right? I'd be interested to see side-by-sides on that. I mean, this looks better. That's pretty crisp and it's in close there, but you can see the color fringing pretty drastically there. But I mean, what do you expect for the price, right? Lacks L series build quality, doesn't ship with the lens hood. Oh, there you go, doesn't ship with the lens hood, which is a $60 add-on. Get out, come on, man. I mean, okay, fine, whatever, but $60 for the hood, like not having a lens hood for a budget lens. Okay, fine, but really. The lens hood will also take longer. Okay. Is it got? I can't believe it's got a unique aperture on the end, right? Or opening at the end. But anyway, look, that's an absolute bargain. The 20D was a great camera in its time. It was, yeah. I shot Canon, Nikon, Sony, but now just Canon for simplicity. Alec, can you explain what you mean by that? For simplicity. So what do you mean when you say that? You mean that you already have a bunch of lenses, or you already have like other Canon bodies? Like when you say simplicity, do you just find the menus just really kind of intuitive, or you like the way that Canon lays out the camera format, and like, do you know what, Jake? Yeah, I can just shoot with the Canon in the dark, my eyes closed. I know where everything is. When you're talking about simplicity, because I'm kind of interested. Sometimes it can come down to something as simple as that, and Sony has improved. I will say that they have improved, but sometimes it can just be like, you know what, it's just too much. I just don't need all that. And you can go, well, look, Jay, you don't need to use it, which is true. But sometimes if you've just got all the knobs and dials, where they're supposed to be and where you're used to, especially if you're working a lot with it, then it makes sense. Canon since 1990s doubled. Oh, since 1990, Steve. Okay, double the Sony A7 and A9, back to Canon for the first R, now using R1. Interesting, Steve. Okay. You with the Sony A7, and you went back A7 and 9. So I mean, look, people can't say you didn't give them a fair shout. That is interesting, Steve. That is really interesting. Can you comment on why? Was it? I don't want to lead the witness, but was it to do with the color, or like the ISO rendering, or sort of low light, or was it focus, or because there is some nuances between these camera bodies, more than just the tech specs. And I've said this before. Like, I think if I was a wedding shooter, I think I would switch to Canon tomorrow. I really would. That's just the truth of it. I think when Canon cameras have a ton of data to play with, like in a wedding, you've got outside or the reception, or you're giving that chip a ton of data. You get some beautiful, smooth, gorgeous looking images. You could argue maybe it's the lens, but yeah. When I was shooting Canon in the studio, it struggled with areas of dead data, if you like. So like a grey backdrop, right? You're shooting like a corporate headshot or something like that, and it's a white background, and maybe like the key light is just falling off naturally onto the background, and rather than it being white, it's kind of grey. And Canon's really struggled in my experience years ago. I haven't tested the mirrorless, but they really struggled with kind of rendering these blank areas of data like backgrounds and that sort of stuff, whereas the Nikon for me was really good at it, like super clean, no noise in those areas, and very, very, very crisp for studio work. So yeah, like for me personally, I think if I was a wedding shooter, I would probably shoot Canon for sure. Yeah. Sony and Panasonic. Okay, wow, I haven't seen I haven't used a Panasonic camera, I don't think ever, actually, to be fair. Yeah. Alex has had too many cameras and lenses, ended up always using Canon, so I sold the others. Nice, man. Yeah, fair play to you. Yeah, always had Nikon. Alan says, always had Nikon, still have my D850. You do still have the D850. Nice, man. Nice. That's him, but haven't used them for the past 2 years. Oh, you really dropped off, man. So sorry to hear that. I mean, Alan, I'm still shooting the D850. I shot the D850 on Friday. Yeah, and it's look, gets the job done, right? So look, if you're a Canon shooter, I'd be amazed if you aren't eyeing this up, but I wouldn't rush to it, because you're not going to get it until next year now. Yeah. I just thought I'd mention this because it's kind of cool. This is something that's been around for a while, but it's just kind of interesting that somebody's done something a little bit more professional with it. So what is going on here is that these old like 5.4 cameras, and you can get larger ones, 10.8, right? So big plates, like film plates that we used to use back in the day, and they project this beautiful big image onto that bigger film plate behind, right? Now the downside is that there is no digital version, and I'm sure that maybe there's some custom ones out there, but I mean, like we're talking tens of thousands to get chips anywhere near this size. So what people have done in the past is they've kind of I forget what they call now, but they basically take like 9 images or 4 images of a scene and then merge them together afterwards to create one massive image with tons and tons of data. And what this guy's done, or what this is using here, is this plate here, right? So here we go. So you just get this huge like insane resolution file, right? I'll just play this real quick, and so we can see here. So you see it moving, right? So what he's made this plate. So you attach the L mount on the back there, and then you basically move that plate around, and then you merge the images together afterwards. But yeah, it's a really very, very cool idea, and like 5.4 bellows cameras are not as expensive as you think. Right, they're not as expensive as you think. There you go. You can see it being merged afterwards. Yeah, that's basically the principle of it. So, look, I do really like these things because they are some of the, like these gigapixel files or whatever they call them, where you can just zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in. Some of them are pretty cool, but as I'm sure some of you can probably guess, there are some downsides to this. Right now, he's shooting that file. it's extremely likely that the wind has moved these trees when you're shooting these 6 frames, right? So the chances of them merging up convincingly and perfectly are going to be, pretty unlikely. But it's still a very cool, beautiful plate that they've got here. But still, if you need damn near infinite resolution, this is nuts. It just goes to show how big the circle of data is that these 5.4s actually cast, right? Because obviously the lens, like the light's going into the lens, and then it casts this circle of image onto the back plane. And some of them are absolutely colossal. So yeah, this is a very cool little plate that they've got there. Thank you, Vlad. Well done. Yeah, I knew there was a word for it. Yeah. Benzier. How do you pronounce that? Benzier. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, well done, Vlad. Thank you. I've never done it. I think we used to shoot 5.4 transparency, but I've never done this Benzier method before. But yeah, I do like the idea of being able to zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in. Is very, very cool. There used to be a bunch of these types of images years ago on the internet where you could just keep zooming, which was, it was awesome. Yeah, we just don't see them anymore. Yeah. Let's have a look. So Steve says they feel very angular and not that comfy in hand. I also went Olympus for a short time. My first Sony was actually the EX5. Oh, yeah, a little camera, that's right, yeah, which I got to take the Olympics and tickets. It said no large cameras. Yeah, that's right, I remember those little things. They were good, though, weren't they? Everybody wanted one at the time, yeah. Yeah. Is it? How do you say that? Let's have a look. Is that how you spell it? Brainizer. Nailed it. Brainizer. Okay, there you go. Now we know. Okay, there we go. Learn something new every day. Damien just shoots awesome shots with it. Oh, really? Okay. Well done. Let me have a look. What could go wrong? Is this the guy? Looks like he knows what he's doing. It's just like composite so far. Of course, the other issue with doing this Brainizer technique is that you can't do it with anything moving, right? So like people and that sort of stuff, that you can't really do these gigapixel shots with people just because they people keep moving around. Yeah. Oh, you remember this photographic style that used to be around years ago? That's nuts, man. I haven't seen that in forever. This kind of infrared look. Yeah, I forgot about that. Everybody used to shoot like that. I remember that now. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, yeah. Who else used to shoot like that? God. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I'll have to have a look. It's cool stuff though. Cool work. Yeah. This is cool. Okay. Yeah. Cool stuff, man. Unless I presume that's the right guy. Yeah, it's him, but never know which one is normal and which one's Brenzy. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair dues. Good shout there, man. Yeah, good stuff. We're starting to see a lot of this talking about like resolution files, high resolution files, and that sort of stuff. We're starting to see more and more of these kind of older images being up-resed and upscaled using AI. and it's kind of creepy, right? I mean, it is creepy. So this image here is Billy the Kid, like you've never seen before. Photo Restorer revives rare portrait of the Wild West outlaw. So it's creepy images that, and I've seen a few of these people using AI to kind of dig out or guess data from old files, right? Because this is what it was, and then we went through a phase of people coloring, and then then it kind of up-resing it. I feel like it hasn't been too kind to the guy, unless he really did look like that. But yeah, it's like it's fake data, right? It is filling in the gaps. I guess you could say, I don't know, I guess Topaz and those sorts of things are kind of doing it anyway. I'm just seeing more and more of it coming up, like these never before seen footage or images of A, B, C, and D, C thing, and then AI is kind of extrapolating it. It's just kind of weird. Yeah. This was kind of cool. This was well, let me just read it. Filmmakers can use 10 times as many lenses on the Super 16mm thanks to the OFG's new adapter. So this thing is wild, man. This is not going to be of interest to very, very many people, but this is an adapter for Super 16, which historically has had like no lenses at all, right? And what these guys have done is they've kind of made this adapter that can just use tons and tons of cinema lenses. You can see down here on the 16mm footage, which it just gives you gorgeous results, absolutely beautiful results. Yeah, so again, pretty nerdy. It's not really going to be applicable to many people at all. You'd probably have to rent the camera to begin with, but in terms of like Super 16mm, like the way that you could shoot it, like in terms of the look that you get, I mean, it's gorgeous. And then using some of these lenses on it, some of the footage they have is absolutely stunning. Yeah. And it's a beautiful piece of kit that they've made, which I'm sure is kind of like this one-off. But yeah, gorgeous results on Super 16. So again, not going to be too relevant. Look at the state of that thing. It's nuts. Look at that. I think it's crazy. It's a very clever piece of kit that they've made, and I think I show it here. Here we go. Right. So it's showing this is traditionally what Super 16 would look like if you would try and put other lenses on it, and then what they've been able to do is spread that so that they can use these bigger, more exciting lenses than the standard ones on it. But yeah, gorgeous results, beautiful footage that they have with it, and yeah, putting all these lenses on it. Yeah, pretty nerdy, but yeah, very cool. Yeah. So look, I don't really go into too much drama here when we're talking about the news, but I did feel like I kind of wanted to mention this. Have you guys heard of this on the socials doing the rounds? Basically, Annie Leibovitz shooting Timothée Chalamet on the front cover of Vogue, and the internet just tearing her to shreds, basically saying the images were terrible, and like she should step down, and she shouldn't be shooting this. Can't believe people at Vogue don't know what they're talking about if they signed off on this. These images were terrible, and people were absolutely just shredding this front cover and that sort of stuff. This is this raises a couple of topics here, right? First and foremost, you can go, well, that's what art's supposed to do, right? Art is supposed to be divisive, and if it's making you think and talk about it, then it's done its job. So that's the kind of the base level argument, right? In fact, let's see if we can pull up some more images here. I think it should take us to Instagram, right? So we can look at some of these. See, I actually quite like this. So this is the assistant holding up the backdrop. Ironically, that is kind of cool. Yeah. We've got some other ones here. Oh, it is clickable. I was like, hello. So a couple of the other things here that people were kind of shredding it for was some green screen work that's clearly being done. Yeah, of him, of him obviously not being here and then just being slapped on top. Look, it's a weird choice. It is a weird choice. I will give people that. Yeah, that one is weird. Yeah. I presume this one has been stuck on as well, right? And then the front cover, yeah. And yeah, people just being dicks, right? Annie, are you okay? Timu Chalamet, Jesus Christ. Yeah, just people just, Jesus, okay, yeah. It's astonishing that this cover cleared every level of Vogue's approval process. Loved your work until you discovered digital camera. Jesus Christ. Look, man, I mean, it's come on, guys, it's not needed. It's not called for. Like, you don't like it, move on. The other thing that I will add to this is that like a lot of these people just shredding it, like, are not even photographers, and they're certainly not professional photographers, right? And you go, well, that shouldn't make a difference, Jake. And yeah, I agree, it's fair. I will say, as a professional photographer, there are things that happen on the day that you are just not in control of, right? So I am, if it's a private project, and I'm actually more critical of personal projects than I am of actual commercial gigs, because there is just so many variables on the day of a commercial gig that are just outside of your control, right? Just outside of your control. So I'm pretty lenient when it comes to, look, I mean, it happened on Friday. I won't go into it here now, but yeah, it was something that had been planned, and I had to cut a very big corner, should we say, to get the shot. You know, and it's going to be put out there. I can't not put it out there. That's the job, right? So I am kind of way more lenient when it's a commercial gig like this. So I don't think it's justified. Could the images be better? Yeah, they could. But I mean, like, you know, let's move on. Especially, like, I mean, I kind of feel like she's earned the right as well to shoot the way that she shoots. If you don't like it, then that's fine. I mean, Christ, Nick Knight, my absolute photo god hero, you know, has taken some absolute clangers in the past. Like, they're not all going to be gold. You know, they're not all going to be amazing. So I don't really feel like the slagging match was necessary, in my opinion. Yeah, looks bad from here. As fair, Alan. Yeah, look, it's fair, and like there's definitely some weirdness going on here. But I mean, isn't Vogue had like stuff from Brooklyn Beckham on the front cover and all that sort of stuff, and like Kim Kardashian taking shots and that sort of stuff. Can we first off maybe not put Vogue on the pedestal that it used to deserve, like, you know, back in the 90s, right? I think that ship has sailed. Vogue is trying to sell pages, trying to sell adverts within its pages, and this is great for them. Like, they're over the moon, all this drama. This is the best press and publicity that they could have ever hoped for. So this is why they do this stuff with Kim Kardashian doing stuff on Vogue, or, like, you know, David Beckham's son taking holiday pictures and being in Vogue, and, like, you know, come on, guys, let's not put Vogue on the pedestal that it used to have. It's trying to sell ad space, right? So yeah, I think there's a lot of caveats to this story, and if you don't like it, move on. But yeah. But the comments, like, is wild. The comments are absolutely nuts. Yeah. I don't really think these guys add anything to it. Comments, yeah. Oh yeah, the comments in here are obviously going to be horrendous. Yeah. Did you guys see that post at all? Did it come across your feed? I saw tons of people on Instagram talking about it, and maybe it's confirmation bias, right? You see it once and you read the comments, and then Instagram just shows you every other aspect of it. It is kind of weird how that stuff can grow. Just real quick, this guy built a camera out of an optical mouse, which I thought was kind of interesting, in that it's just you wouldn't think that there was this tech in an optical mouse, but I think he's even managed to split it up into RGB as well, right? Which is kind of nuts. This is so something that Vlad would do. I'm amazed that Vlad didn't do this. This is 100% what Vlad would do. In the best possible way, of course. Don't get me wrong. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Talking of low resolution cameras, yeah. This is something that comes up more and more in my world now that I'm talking about LEDs in regards to ISO, right? So we'll be talking about the 5D Mark II a minute ago, and that was what the ISO was 200 to 6400, I think, right, back then. And back then that was wild to us. Like, you got to remember that, you know, if people come in shooting off film, like 800 ISO was just gravel, you know. Anything above that was absolutely crazy. So cameras coming out with 6400 ISO at the time was nuts, but they weren't good. Like 6400 ISO was not good. And one of my first digital cameras was the Fuji Finepix S2, which was a DSLR. It used Nikon lenses. It obviously wasn't full frame, and you know, it took like 4 AA batteries or something like that. It was megapixel, like 6 megapixels. I mean, look, I shot tons of commercial work on that first camera, and it was good, but you needed to give it what it required. What I mean by that is, like, if you gave it exactly the right amount of light that it needed, you know, so if the ISO 100 or 200, whatever the native was on it, if you gave it all the light that it needed and you didn't need to dip into 400, 800 and beyond ISO, like, the images were beautiful, right? The images were gorgeous, like they really were. I've told this story before, but one of the jobs I shot on it was like an album cover, and it was like a headshot of the album cover, and the record label cropped into the eye, like literally just cropped into the eye of the shot, and then put that on the album. Because then they blew that up on ad shells and that sort of stuff as well. I just nearly had a heart attack. It stands up, man. It stands up. It's 6 megapixels. Like, you'd be amazed at what you can get away with. And for the most part, digital cameras, as long as you're giving them the light that they need to do their job properly, right? They're not trying to fudge the numbers with ISO. Like, you get phenomenal results. Now, something that comes up a lot now is that as we're moving away, many of us are moving away from flash, moving to LEDs and that sort of thing. You know, power and, you know, brightness and output is a big deciding factor for people changing from flash to LED. And one of the things that kind of counteracts that lack of power is obviously going to be ISO. You know, you're not going to be able to change the shutter speed too much, right? You don't want to be shooting a 15th of a second, and unless you're doing something silly like I am. But for the most part, you know, like, the shutter speed needs to be fast. I mean, okay, many of us maybe be shooting wide open on the aperture anyway, but there's only so far you can go. So the only thing that's left is ISO. And I think for people who've been shooting for a long time, ISO can be scary, you know, because we come from a world where film was anything above 200 ISO was just crazy. Anything above 200 was wild. And that because that's what film was like. And I think that for many young people today coming into the photographic world, we were on stream a couple of months ago, and there was a professor in here from the US saying, you know, he's dealing with 17, 18-year-old young people, you know, teaching them photography, and ISO to them is not the dreaded thing that it used to be for us. It's just a way to adjust the exposure in camera. It's not this dreaded thing that we were terrified of touching previously. ISO has gotten so good now. This article just goes on to say, basically, is ISO really even important anymore? And dramatic title aside, obviously it still is, but it's just nowhere near as scary as it used to be, right? And to this point, I had a friend of mine come over last week. We were chatting. He just shot a wedding, opened up some of the shots there. And I'm pretty sure, like, some of his wedding shots, as you can imagine, anybody who shot a wedding, dark rooms, you don't have control of lighting. You know, I think it could have even been like 3200 ISO or something like that. And the denoise thing in Lightroom Classic is nuts, absolutely insane now. If you've ever shot a higher ISO image and you have one and you want to test it out, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Now it is slow, right? He had to, he clicked on it, showed me, it takes whatever 30 seconds to do its thing. It is incredible, absolutely incredible, like the denoise. And again, it just kind of negates a lot of these issues. So again, I'm just going to say, I'm just doubling down, like the ISO is not the terrifying feature that it used to be. It's okay to kind of adjust the ISO more than I think that we were used to doing, which I've been doing with shooting LEDs. Like, let's not beat around the bush. Like, LEDs do not have the same power as flash, so I have been dipping into the ISO way more than I used to. The other thing is, like, nobody's going to notice on Instagram, right? So it doesn't even matter with that regard. But do you guys shoot like, what's the kind of highest ISO that you feel that you would be comfortable shooting on your camera? And so on my D850, right, which is a DSLR, it's not as clean as your mirrorless. Now, I don't really need to go that high, but I feel like the ISO noise on the mirrorless is significantly better than DSLRs, right? But yeah, I mean, I'd probably go ISO 800 on the D850 for a studio shot. Again, it's different, right? Studio shots are different to like a wedding that has tons of data. It's far easier to hide that noise in tons of data. But really impressed with the denoising in Lightroom Classic, and if you haven't used it, then do test it out, because it is wild, absolutely like black magic, kind of insanity. Tony here, look, Tony, a bit of a master, a legend, maybe a connoisseur of knowledge, should we say. So Tony here says, yeah, sensor technology has been flat for about 8 years now. A 2017 Nikon D850 with its 45 megapixel dual gain sensor has about the best full frame image quality. I mean, we all knew that, right? I mean, we all knew that already. It's often better than mirrorless cameras at dynamic range. Tony is just dropping knowledge bombs here, guys. Like, you don't listen to me, listen to Tony. He knows what he's talking about. It has about the best full frame image quality. It's often better than mirrorless cameras at dynamic range because it doesn't need phase detect autofocus points on the sensor. Spitting truths, man. But it's definitely no worse than the latest top-end cameras. Sensor size, megapixels, lens quality still matter, JPEG and video processing matter, but raw image quality isn't really worth testing anymore. Ooh, except it gets drastically worse sometimes, like Sony's A9 III global shutter or various other sensors that trade fast readout speed for noise and dynamic range. Interesting. Dropping shade on the old Sony there. Okay. This guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, okay, interesting. Do you reckon Tony shoots Nikon? I don't know, just putting it out there. Yeah. Let's have a look. I'm sure we have some sensible retorts in chat. Let's have a look. So he's talking about the Vogue cover from Annie there. I saw a glimpse of that. The harshest comment I read was, did Beckham's son shoot this? Oh, Christ. Vlad's busy making a screen mask for the Sony. Which one's that? Is that for the Brainazer screen mask thing? Is that what you're talking about, Vlad? Yeah. Says you're only post ISO if you don't shoot concerts or other low light scenarios. So what are you saying, So you're saying that, like for you're obviously regularly. I mean, you got to be regularly in the 1600s, 3200s, 6400s, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Gabe, you're saying it definitely is with regards to what ISO is less important, or ISO is like always, ISO is as important as it's always been. Yeah, 1600 for my Sony, 200 for my old Olympus. Okay, yeah, 800 because it is marginal. Okay. I recently shot wildlife on my R1 at 2500. Only way to get shots. Okay, what were the shots like, Alec? Did you test out the? Have you tested out the Lightroom business, Lightroom magic, black magic, whatever it's doing? Nonsense. It was crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, 2500 is definitely. I mean, that is bright. Yeah, that is. As in, that's trying to get in a lot of light. 800 ISO with natural light in studio, and I'm use 80 ISO doing headshots, 2.8 flash, 125th probably. You mean? Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I got the D850 at the time was that it had the inbuilt ND, as I call it, right? I mean, so what Alan is saying there is like 80 ISO. Yeah, so I'll regularly be down there in the low 3, whatever it is, which I think it may even go down as low as 25 ISO 25. I'd need to check, but it definitely takes away like two stops of light. And if you're shooting like wide open at 1.4 with flash, you need it, unless you're going to be using high speed sync. Obviously, you could do it that way. But yeah, so the D850 having that kind of inbuilt NDs, as I call it at the time, was one of the selling factors for me. Yeah. Steve says for events, bands, etc., max out 1280, which is fine. Interesting, Steve. Okay, so you're at 1200, 12,000 even. Sorry, not 1200, 12,000. Yeah. Okay. So what are we going? So we got 800 to 1600, and then 32, 64. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it jumps up pretty quick, right? Yeah. Like it says 25,000 used on one. No new images were acceptable. Really? Okay. I mean, it goes with the vibe as well. If you're shooting a concert when you got that kind of that vibe already, that feeling or that story that you're trying to tell, you don't want to make it buttery smooth and take away some of that drama. So yeah, interesting. Yeah. So yeah, Tony, if you're out there, mate, keep fighting the good fight, mate. Keep fighting the good fight. I'm with you. I find ISO fascinating because I would never touch it, and then once I started to use LEDs, I was like, something's got to give, and I started to use it, and it was just absolutely fine. Yeah, I think I was shooting ISO 200 on the day. Last Friday. I mean, you also have the argument of native ISO as well. You should shoot. A lot of cameras are natively at 200 to begin with. People swear blind that you should just stick to ISO 200 for the cleanest quality, and then work around that anyway. But yeah, that was always an argument for the native ISO thing at 200. But there was always more noise at 200 than 50 on the D850, so I kind of never really understood that sentiment. Yeah. You shot a Conva? What? A CONV? A Conva? Terry, how you doing? A Conva? I shot a Conva. Just grabbing this for the nerds out there. Color science behind the most popular 35mm films available today. So interesting. This is interesting. This is Vlad's world, really. I really just pulled it out for Vlad in case it's of interest to him. What is of interest to everybody is this little beauty here. Look, this little free preset pack. So I actually downloaded this earlier on before I went live. It's all works. It's all good. You do have to put. Obviously, you need an email address, and it does ask you for shipping address, which is stupid. Which is stupid. As soon as it's free and a download, but I did download it. So if you're interested, do check out this kind gentleman here who's giving away his film preset pack thing for Lightroom, and they were actually pretty good. Yeah, I opened them up in Lightroom a minute ago, and they were pretty good, I gotta say, you know. So he's given a bunch away there. So yeah, that's the link there. Go check it out. It's free. Like I said, you do need to put like an address, but I'll leave it up to your interpretation as to what address you use. Well, yeah, so that's cool. And I mean, he goes into a bunch of different stuff here. I like the way even like the white text in his graphs has got bloom on it as well, which is like the film bloom, which is cool. Yeah. So check that out as well. Check out his article on that. Oh, Terry says, I shot a concert last week, 6400 and denoise, was blown away. It is, Terry. Honestly, it is nuts, right? It is crazy. I know, because I knew it was good, but I just don't shoot anything like that high, right? So when my mate came around and was like, oh yeah, shot this at 3200 or whatever it was, I don't have anything to test it on. I knew it was good. I just, and then he just clicked it, and it was just like, that is nuts. And you can dial it back. You're like, what? That's too clean. Let's give it. Let's just ease it back a little bit so it feels a bit more organic and real. And you can just, as soon as it's done it once, you can just kind of dial it back. You can kind of bring some of that noise back afterwards. And it's like a slider, so it's very, very cool. Yeah, really impressive. And you do sound like an old fart when you're just like, oh my god, it's amazing. It's been around forever. Yeah. 8100 and 400, the good ones. Look up some DxMO charts. Jesus Christ, man, yeah. Already watched that video preset, better. Jesus Christ, just absolutely flamed this man. I haven't watched the video. I just this video here, I haven't watched it. I was just looking at the graphs and that sort of thing. But Vlad's presets are better, guys. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. There you go. But in the meantime, you can check out this guy's presets. Oh yeah, that's that one. Okay, so Amran just released some new LEDs, a whole range of them, a whole line of them as well. Not just one LED here and there. They've released this whole new line called the Ray series. So thank you to Chris for sending this to me before we went live. Let's have a quick look here. So kind of familiar design to those of you who've been watching the stream for a while. So we've got 60, 120. Looks like they've got 360 there as well. Okay, I mean, clean, right? Looking good. No control box. That's nice. Unless it's just not plugged in for the CGI, but it doesn't look to have a control box. No dangly dongle thing at the back, which is good. Just showing the attachments, is cool. Yeah. So yeah, they got a whole series there, like 4 lights, something. Yeah, 4 lights. Yeah. So let's have a look. So here we go. We got the fellas here. So we got the prices here. Boom. Yeah. So we got the 60, 120, 360, and the 660. Okay, so reasonable, right? Okay. So I'm guessing the C stands for color, full color, right? Ultra compact, Bowen's mount. So I was being cheeky when I mentioned seems familiar, right? Those of you following the stream know that Jun, the LED manufacturer, kind of released something very similar to this not too long ago, which was S-mount, and I think that was even slightly more compact than this, which I'll bring up in a second. But yeah, really just like the lights are just getting crazy small now. Yeah, this is the 120 for 260 quid. Yeah, I think it's tiny, man. I think it's tiny. Yeah. Z9 has dual base, Z100 base. Okay, thank you, Richard. Z9 has dual base, ISO and 500 base. Interesting. Okay, I hadn't looked into that actually, Richard. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Clever way to do it. Yeah. Grab says he also edited on YouTube. Oh, nice. Okay. The info on the website as well. Thanks, Grabs. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I had a quick Google. I couldn't see anything about it. Literally. And then so I had to just go on to the Instagram link that he sent me to look at these. But yeah. So obviously the Zhun one, right? So 200 RGB that came out earlier this year. So lightweight again, like S-Fit, and this was so small that the S-Fit, so just give you some idea of scale, those of you know what S-Fit, like the old Bowens mount, right, just give you some idea of scale, like the S-Fit is hanging out over the edge of this one, right? So this is, the body on this one is maybe even smaller, right? And that's 200. So what's the cost of this one? $370, right? Okay, and you get power adapter and bits and pieces like that. Okay, so Amaran's coming in, so it's not. Oh, it's I mean, it's almost a stop darker, right? 120, but what, 260 as opposed to so $100 more. Okay. Don't know. I would still be tempted to go for the Zhun one in this, get a little bit extra power. Yeah. But okay, let's have a look. What else we got? So at the top end we've got the 660. So this is these LED lights are starting to have some juice now, right? Coming out, it's just regular 600 watt for how much was this one? $700. Like, it's pretty good, man. That is pretty good. So those of you who don't know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong or misremembering, but Amaran is the break off of Aperture, right? So Aperture is the video light manufacturer who has a very long heritage of making LEDs already, like many years under their belts making LEDs for cinema, TV, and that sort of stuff. We even spoke about them early on here. Aperture being the big bros in the cinema world, making tons of lights already. So they got let's have a look. What do they got? So they got these monsters here. Christ, they're the Storms and the Electric Storm. So these are the sort of fellas that they're making, like 1,000-watt heads and that sort of thing. So you can see here, like even the 400 is $1,000 for the big boy Aperture, and Amaran is a breakaway from this. Right, and it kind of used to be Aperture and Amaran used to be kind of, they would maybe have the same booth and that sort of stuff, and you would have like an Amaran line next to Aperture, and in the last year or so, it's been a very hard break, as like no kind of connection at all to Aperture. So they would have like their own stand at the photo show. I noticed last year or this year, whenever it was, Aperture didn't have a stand there, but Amaran did, and Amaran is definitely going for a new generation of creators, right? We spoke about this in the past, which was kind of wild. Like this thing is nuts. This is just this huge. What is this? Like 22-inch. Look, so that is your beauty dish, right? I use a 22-inch beauty dish all day, every day for a key light, and they're just using this beautiful, clean disc here for streaming, right? For streamers and that sort of stuff. Now, it breaks my heart that the bracket is absolutely horrendous. The bracket is about $4. But point being is that Amaran is really trying to capitalize on this newer generation of image creators, whatever you want to call them. And, coming in with some very competitive pieces of kit, and 600 watts, no control box. So you guys know that I was singing the praises of my Nanlite, right? That's 600, that Nanlite, but that's got this whole control box and whatever. It's a bloody great control box. You got to, like, that's got a super clamp that comes in the box with it. That has its own custom built metal bracket. You got to clamp that to your C stand. You got to lock that on. You got to plug that in. It's like no control box here, man. 600 watts. Full color, cob light, S-fit. Like, this is a serious player for sure, man. Yeah, really, really impressed with the specs on that. Right, can't complain. It looks like it's got, you know, yeah, proper mount stuff. Yeah, even got the dual attachment point there. So coming in $700. You know, no idea of the quality of these. I've never shot with Amaran, or I have shot with Aperture in the past, so I presume that, you know, it's kind of taking on some of that, you know, skills or quality or technology or information that you already have from Aperture and dumping them in these little units. But yeah, pretty impressive lineup, man. Yeah, Amaran Ray is the new lineup. I mean, these things are tiny as well. Yeah, it's crazy. Does anybody shoot Amaran? Does anybody shoot with any of the Amaran products or the Aperture products for that matter? Kind of interested. I think I was in a shoot in Boston last year, and we were using Aperture in there. And again, they had those bloody control boxes that were dangling around, which was a pain in the arse. They don't really show it here, but yeah, these are the big boys though. I mean, they go up to like 1,200, 1,000 storms. Yeah, these things are nuts. Yeah. Can't wait for these products to arrive in the EU and got charged more. Oh, is that right? Get charged more. Okay. Good point. So you can't get them in the UK yet, I take it then. No. Okay. I'll have to see. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, we'll see how much. I mean, typically here in the UK, it shouldn't be, but typically if it's $500, it ends up being £500 GBPs, right? I mean, it shouldn't be that, but that's what it ends up being. So as a rule of thumb, you can't use the exchange rate to go, oh well, you know, you obviously knock $100 off that. No, it tends to be, if it's $700, it'll be £700. But we'll see. Yeah. Smaller boxes with more power can have heat issues, which can make them loud depending on the heat strategy. Okay, love this input. Good questions. And yes, that is the issue. That is the issue when you don't have the control boxes outside. Tons of that kind of processing or whatever is going on is often done in those boxes. And the Nanolite one is, you know, warm. And yes, so to your point there, when they start to not have the control boxes separate and they're just kind of like the mono blocks like we used to use back in the day, they can get warm. And then the fan, I think like we saw in one of these in the video, there's like a massive fan on the base of this. I think we saw in the video here. I think there's like a fan on the bottom of them. So to Richard's point there, which is a valid one, is that chances are the fan is always going to be on, or it's going to be on, you know, most of the time. So if you're shooting video and that sort of stuff, then that's going to be an issue. Yeah. So it's a good point. So that one, you can see a little fan at the bottom there, which is the 660. Okay, it looks smaller in that rendering, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so it's just a massive fan on the bottom. Yeah. Isn't it weird? I mean, like, it's encased on the top, right? Look, I don't want to be nitpicky here, but can you not see the top of this thing? Oh, okay, it is open. I was like, Christ! I thought when it was span round in the video, it was encased in the top. I was like, surely there's no way it does that. Yeah, okay, so it does have a huge grid on the top, which is fine. Yeah, okay. decent price point for sure. Yeah. The fans are pretty quiet as per Jared under video. So Steve says he's seen your video on these and saying the fans are pretty quiet. Okay. Yeah, it's like the fans and LEDs is like we didn't like it never used to be an issue years ago with strobes, and now all of a sudden everybody's worried about fan noise. I think the main reason is that a lot of people are shooting video. I don't shoot video. I will do everything in my power to avoid shooting video. So it really has no bearing on me. I will say that when I used Godox, when I reviewed the little Godox LED lights the other day, well, like earlier in the year or late last year, whenever it was, and they had a weird way of like dealing with the fan. So as soon as you turned it on, like the light could be on 0.1% and the fan would be on. But you could be at 100% or 1% and the same fan level. You would only have one level of fan, right? So it was kind of an interesting way to get around it. They're like going, look, if you can, you're not worrying about the fan coming off and on set or anything like that. You're not trying to deal with that variable or getting louder all of a sudden when you're shooting. It's just always on. It's not super loud, but it is always on. So Godox had a weird way of kind of dealing with it, and then other companies, yeah, like it spools up when it needs to, right? But yeah, I think I'll do well. I mean, you can't argue with that price point for that. Yeah. What is the Nanlite LED? What is it? The 600FC or something? Oh, there it was. Have you guys got any Black Friday deals to send me? Have you seen any good deals? Accessories, Jake. Use your brain. No? Oh, obviously just being stupid. Product. FC. There we go. I could have sworn mine was 600. Okay, maybe it's 500. There we go. Yeah, this is, yeah, but you see in all these videos, you don't see the control box. It weighs a ton. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Thing's a fucking monster. That's the daylight one, bicolor. Full RGB. Yeah, that's it there. Okay, so it is actually a similar price. Can we not? Okay. Yeah, so 700, and then we'll see what this other one comes out at here. But okay, so it could well be the same price when it comes out. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I guess the next question is going to be how much of an issue, like Richard says, how much of an issue is that fan going to be if everything's all in that one unit? Yeah, we shall see. I guess we shall see. What we got here? So Richard says, had a look and they seem to not have the Blair engine but omnicolor. This adds indigo, so it must have dropped lime for some reason. Okay, well done Richard, well done. Okay. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, good lad. Yeah, there you go. So what Richard's saying there, and we spoke about this at the start, right, about aperture and them having the Blair engine or whatever it is, which is what, blue, lime, amber, indigo and red, right? So what Richard's saying here is, and he's right, is that they're using this omnicolor. So I need to look into what that actually is. Richard's saying, I had a look and they seem to have dropped the Blair from aperture. Yeah, fine. Which adds indigo, so much have dropped the lime for some reason. So it's got indigo but not the lime. Okay. Interesting. I mean, there's got to be some difference in the quality, right, between the super expensive ones that cost twice that versus these. And for the most part, like most of these RGB heads are going to be a bit, going to be good for most of us, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into good spot on that, Richard. I'm going to have to look at this Omnicolor light engine. I'll have to look into what they say about that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested. I have not seen that Omnicolor thing before. Yeah. Okay. Best Black Friday deal I've seen so far was "You're broke, mate. Just don't." Yeah, it's kind of looking a bit like that. I think I'm probably gonna stump up for a new TV, but I don't wanna rush into any new camera just yet. We've probably got a few years left in the old dog. No need to get rid of a perfectly good camera like that D850. Which still says aperture as other brands on the bottom of the page. Does it? Oh, so it does. Okay. Oh yeah, other brands. Okay. Yeah, because like I was saying, when I've been at shows and stuff and trade shows, Amaran will have its own stand, and Aperture either won't be there or like no part of it at all. So they are kind of still holding hands, but nowhere near as prominent as they used to be. Okay, yeah, good spot. Yeah, okay, yeah. But Amaranth's making waves, and like I said to you guys before about what they are doing with these things here. For 270 quid, 250 quid or whatever it is, I was pretty tempted to see what it was like. I mean, 22 inches is beautiful size, man. Like for headshots and portraits, that's the beauty dish size that I always recommend and have recommended for years. That's the sweet spot. I've got to be honest, I was tempted to get this and see what it did. I mean, if it wasn't such a piece of shit on the back, right? It's just like, what is that? Like some plastic clamp? Like, what is that? I think it is like a plastic clamp on the back. Part of me thinks that they really want to keep their market separate. That they really don't want photographers using this. Look, call me pessimistic, but like that. I mean, that's like what are we doing with that? Like, what is that? Yeah. But what Godox is bringing out their Lightmons brand as well. A lot of these companies are doing it. I think I've mentioned to Godox in the past. It's like, so what is the difference in these lights? Because this is 150 watt full RGB, whatever it is, 120 watt full RGB Lightmons light, and you have the same 150 watts RGB Godox light. Like, what's the difference other than the fact that one's white? And there really is very, very little difference. It's trying to target a different generation, I think. And it, like, for us being the consumers, like, it is a race to the bottom with these LED prices. Like, to some of you, this may seem expensive, but these prices have come down hugely in the last 5 years. It's absolutely nuts. Just because this is the new gold rush, right? Yeah. Good for us. Good for us, for sure. Yeah. Steve says, Google AI, Amaran's version expands the red and blue range, and which is exactly the two ranges that I was talking about, right? They're always the two worst colors. Yeah, red and blue. And Steve says, Amaran's version expands the red and blue ranges and introduces an indigo emitter to deliver a fuller, more balanced spectrum. Okay, so that echoes what Richard was saying about them adding the indigo. Okay, yeah. Interesting, yeah. I was thinking of getting a Para 90 or softbox 30% off. Do it, Alan. Do it. Yeah, that'll be good. I think that'll be good. I mean, if you already use like a softbox already, then that 90 is a great size. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a while since I used it, but I do have a couple of 90s here, and that power it will throw it a decent range. Yeah. Plus, if anyone wants to get me a Christmas present, I would love that thing on my desk for my editing video. Exactly right. Yeah. It's I just find it, I don't know, I just find it funny that there's just like the idea of some 15-year-old Fortnite streamer with this beautiful light on their desk. I mentioned this before, and I don't really see anybody talking about it. But what's interesting about this is that they are spreading the light over a larger area, right? So it's not like they have, you know, what are we talking about here? Like this little thing here, right, where all the light's coming from this one little pocket, yeah, or these cob lights. So it can be 200, but it has to spread that light very, very quickly. So it doesn't really do it like that. So if you were to use this as your streaming light, let's just say for argument's sake, you use this as your streaming light, it would need to be painfully bright in front of you to illuminate you at the same range. What these are doing is they are spreading those LEDs out over a larger area, which means that if it's in nice and close, which it will be, it'll be on your desk, it is going to be 2 feet away, like this is like two feet away here, it can be very, very low and it still illuminate you and a larger area, which if you're gaming or whatever it is you're doing, you don't want a very bright light being shone into your face, right? Just, you know, so having this big illumination or you know, big puddle of light, as it were, very, very low, which will give you the same effect, final result, as, you know, having something like a cob light, which would need to be pumped up to do the same thing. So I don't really see them kind of talking about this, but this would be way more comfortable to stream with if you were streaming with this in front of you, as opposed to like a softbox or something like that. It would be, yeah, it would be so much more comfortable. Yeah. Just for those of you wanting to get into Fortnite streaming, you know. They even have the little squares here as well. 5% off. How big are these things? 100 quid. They look pretty tiny though, don't they? Where was there was a company that used to make LED panels for like streaming. God, they were just so overpriced. I forget what it was called now. I forget what it was called. They were just so expensive. It was like a it was like a brand like that everybody used at the time. I'll find it, but they were extortionate. Yeah. Yeah. They were just totally ripping it out of them. Yeah. God, look at all these now. Look, 80 quid for this. That's wild. Yeah. Yeah. These newer lights, how bad do you reckon they are? Like 200 watts for 100 quid. Like, how bad do you reckon they are? So CB 200 watts, 56. So it's just locked at 56. Okay. I mean, even these 100. That's what I mean. 100 quid lights, like, still got 97 CRI. It's just a norm now. Yeah. Got these more expensive ones, look. Okay. Anyway, I'm going down the rabbit hole there. Elgato, well done, Elgato. That's right, well done. Yeah. Yeah, these things used to cost a fortune. Yeah. Yeah, this thing is like the size of an iPad for 160 quid. But they used to be absolutely extortionate. Well done. That's exactly the name I was after. Yeah. Oh man, that's a terrible advertising. That is such a terrible advertising for your product, man. Yeah. These look awful. The fuck? Oh man, sorry. I have people with blue eyes struggling with my flash on lower settings. You must have more problems with LED. I sometimes have people with blue eyes struggling with my flash on lower settings. Must have more problems with LED. Okay. So I think what Alan's referring to there is that, and I'm guessing that people with blue eyes are more sensitive to light. Is that right? Is that what you're talking about there? Yeah, and you're right, Alan. It is something that comes up it's look. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm kind of a little bit old school. I come from a period where we were using hot lights back in the day, like tungsten, and the models had to endure tungsten lights, which are not only bright but extremely hot. So I don't really have a ton of sympathy for people. Models complaining about the lights being bright today. Look, I know it's not very professional of me, and obviously I do my best to accommodate them. But yes, you're right. In the LEDs being very, very bright in somebody's face can be uncomfortable, right? Whereas flash is just a split second. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, that's what I thought of too. Yeah, they are still around, but I don't know how many lights they sell anymore. Yeah, rye grapes. Yeah, I don't think they sell many anymore, man. Yeah, they had to. Yeah, need to find the CRI for the Pep Boys. What do you reckon it is? I mean, obviously they're not gonna mention it on the Elgato site because the CRI wouldn't have any wouldn't have any any need for that. Yeah, I wonder what the CRI is for those. Yeah. Yeah, they blink more weaker eyes to light. Interesting, Black Alan. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that actually. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to share this. This was nuts. I saw this on Instagram. I think I shared it with a couple of people on IG last week. But this is crazy. I've included this for all those people that say everything's been done before and there's nothing new, there's nothing original, everybody's just copying each other and all this bullshit, right? This is for those heathens who believe that everything has been done before. This is nuts, right? So this mind-blowing photo shows a skydiver in front of the sun. So this is an actual photograph, which is absolutely insane, right? Absolutely just wild. So this is an actual photograph of somebody in front of the sun. Here we go. All right, just incredible. So basically, he goes up in this little mini thing here. Let's see. Yeah. All right, and then from miles away, he's being photographed using a telescope. Check out that setup, man. That's nuts, right? And then I think he just jumps out of this thing. Yeah, there he goes. Absolutely wild, man. What a shot! Like, this guy is just like, look at him. He knows he's got it. He's like, Jesus, that's so good. Such a great shot. Yeah. Can you imagine how difficult that is? Like, just so far away, and then the timing of that, like, absolutely wild. So yeah, that's for all the idiots out there who think that everything's been done before and there's nothing original left to do and all this sort of stuff. Like, there is still great work to be made out there, and this is a phenomenal image. Absolutely outstanding. Incredible shot. And it would have been outstanding without a dude in it, right? But the fact that they managed to line that up is just absolutely wild. So, a little bit of a good news photo story there for you. Such a good image. Yeah. One of those is 92%, and the other is 94%. At least that's what the website claims. Oh, really? Okay, Gramps. Okay, so pretty low then. Like I said, I mean, even like a cheap Amazon light is like 97. That's wild. That's crazy. Like 90, 92 and 94 is low. Yeah. He was so happy. Yeah, can you imagine, Alan? Like, you can see it in his face. Like, it's like, oh my God, I've literally just taken like the photo of a lifetime. Yeah. I forget how many times they had to go at this. I feel like it was like a bunch of times that they tried it. I think like 7 or 8 times, something like that. But yeah. Absolutely incredible. I'm sure I saw it somewhere. Maybe it was on Instagram, but yeah. We didn't. Yeah, autofocus could have really screwed him on that one. Yeah. Fair play, man. Yeah, I love the fact that you can see him just like, oh my God, I think I've got it. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. when nerds and photographers collide. That's where the magic happens, man. Love to see it. Yeah. I know, Richard. Like, because I'm sure in the video, right? I can't see anybody else in it. Like, obviously there must be. I must have just been paying attention to him jumping out. It must have been somebody else in it, right? Just like, yeah, it must have been. Obviously, yeah. I just paying attention to the guy jumping out. This guy's got cable management like I have. I can respect it. Yeah. Oh, there's definitely two of them on there, right? Oh, I didn't notice that before. Right, that's the. So he's got. So they must have been, because if we can't go back on this, but when you look at this video, you can kind of see that he's barely moving across the sun here, which means that he must have been flying straight towards the sun, right? So there's almost no kind of deviation at all. So he's like, right, you got to fly straight towards it. Yeah. Yeah. Look at how. Insane, man. Look at him. That feeling, man. That feeling. It's just, yeah. You don't get that with AI. Fuck AI. You don't get that with AI. When you put your prompt in, you're not getting that buzz. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. They're normally 2 seaters in one have been. It got to be, yeah, right. It's still just flying into the sun, still to this day. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Love to see that. Okay. What else? Obviously, end of the year, right? A lot of photo competitions coming out, which is good. It's been, it's a good time of year for us creatives and us photographers. We get to eat well. We get to see some phenomenal images from a lot of these yearly photo competitions. This one here, every winning photo from the Nature Photographer of the Year 2025. Absolutely, just look at this. Absolutely incredible images. Yeah, what on earth? Like, that's like that out of Blade Runner, man. That's just nuts. Yeah. Yeah, some beautiful shots. That's awesome, man. This is so cool, right? Like some sort of solarization effect, like negative solarization effect with, yeah, like these are great, and yeah, really good stuff. Yeah, so tons of great ones. Check that one out. It was good. He does, Alan. Yeah, I've seen some of his other stuff as well. It's just crazy what. Yeah, he's got that niche, and yeah. But didn't he, like, does he sell those? Did he sell them? Is he selling some of these? Yeah, the rocket. Yeah, called the rocket. I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that one before. Yeah. Do you know what? That's actually not bad. Yeah, I know it's only a small one, but yeah, I might pick one of those up. That is a banger, man. That is someone else. Yeah, like, you just incredible. Like, you just look at that. It's just the energy in that is just insane. Yeah, I might actually pick that up. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah, so check out those ones. We've got the British one in. Nice. British Photography Awards 2025. Some shots definitely not shot in Britain. Yeah. Put some good ones in here nonetheless. I kind of, because there's a couple. That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, the drone shot. That's kind of nuts as well. Oh, get rid of that noise. This is what I'm talking about, right? This noise, right? So we're talking about event, concert photography, and that sort of stuff. Like, you could go in there and remove that noise, but like, it's part of it, right? I think there's a time and a place for it for sure. Yeah. So Dominic Bevan has been in the stream. So congrats, Dominic. Dominic Bevan has been in the stream before. So congrats on winning that. GG's. Huge plays. Great shot. Love to see it. Yeah, good stuff. yeah, so what the hell? Quality of that. It's crazy. So yeah, check those out. Like I said, this time of year is great. Photo competitions and stuff. We get to we definitely get to eat well and see some great shots taken by people. Yeah, so good stuff. Good stuff. yeah, that's extra stuff. Yeah, that guy stuff is awesome. Yeah. So I think that's kind of it. Unless there's anything else new wise that's come out. I haven't really clocked it. I've been super busy, so I haven't really been paying attention too much. I just had a quick scout through some of the news there today, and this is what either sprung up to me or you guys have sent me. So keep sending in the bits and pieces, guys. I always appreciate you giving me the heads up. Don't think, oh, Jake's already seen this, because it's highly likely that I haven't. So yeah, send it over. Black Friday's coming up. Yeah. Keep me posted on any incredible deals that you see. I got sent this email today from Rotolite. They're doing a Black Friday deal, which is that is for 2 of these. That's a good deal. Just putting it out there, right? The Rotolite is still a thing. I am doing they've asked me to go and do a talk or demo up in the camera shop in North Wales, which in the end in a couple of weeks, maybe like 10 days time, 29th, I'll be up there. I just had an email I haven't managed to have a chance to respond to, so I think that's going ahead. So if you're anywhere near North Wales on the 29th, which I think was it Saturday or something, we're doing a demo up there. You want to come down and play with the lights. So look, Rotolite is still chugging along. They're not in the stores like they used to be. They're selling directly from their own site, as it were, hence why their lights are cheaper than they used to be. But like, they sold through their stock within a month or so. So all their stock is all being constantly remade. I still use these regularly. Like, they're great lights. So yeah, if you're interested, Rotolite's got Black Friday deal coming up. Check it out. Yep. That's what I was messing with today. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Oh, nice, Vlad. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Okay. Clever. Oh, I got the noise off, sorry. Here we go. Right. Just incredible. It goes up in this little... Yeah, interesting. Okay. That's got to help, right? Can you change the grid lines? Like, do you have manual control of the grid line? I've never done it. Do you have manual control of the grid lines on a lot of your on cameras these days? I've never actually tried it. I'm sure you could apply black bars. That might even be in the Nikon D850. It might even be in there. I'm sure you could apply black bars if you wanted to just shoot like 10.8, 5.4, whatever it was, kind of crops. I'm sure you could do that in the actual camera itself. But yeah, expand crop. Yeah, it is super wide, right? Yeah, super wide. Okay, so let's have a look then. Let's have a look. If there's any links that you saw me post there and I didn't share them and you wanted to see them, let me know. I got the links there and I will. I can certainly pass them over to you. Yeah. In some cameras you can adjust the bars. Yeah, you can, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure a friend of mine had a D850 and that's what he used to do. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned to you guys before that I kind of been looking to work with Profoto for a little while now, and last Friday finally got to do a campaign with them on their new cinema light, their L600C, which is this beastie here. And this is the latest light from Profoto. It's obviously been announced and that sort of stuff. It's not available just yet, but it will be like imminently, right, before the end of the year. And some months ago, they asked me to put a proposal forward to work with them in kind of demonstrating what this new light can actually do, right? This is a brand new 600 LED full color light, and let's be honest, Profoto is kind of a little bit late to the LED market. Easily by 1 or 2 years. So them coming in a little bit later is interesting to see where they're going to land with it, right? And this thing is an absolute powerhouse. This thing is nuts. Now, I will say that last year they did bring out this 1600, this monster here, right? So this is just a daylight head. The thing is an absolute beast, right? It's just daylight, and yeah, just 90% fans. But yeah, that's what they came out with late last year, I think, maybe even a little bit longer ago. And then more recently, they're bringing out these panels, which I had a look at the other day as well. So this is a big full color panel as well, right? 3x2 panel. Let's bring up that. And then what's kind of more interesting for us kind of still shooters is these are the L600C and the L600D. So C being color and the D being daylight, right? So interesting unit, very, very, very interesting light. And just to give you a little bit of background here, like I said, let me just go pull up my thing we got here. So, like I said, they got in touch and was like, Jake, can you put together a proposal? This was like months ago. This was literally months ago. Some ideas for this light. These are the kind of the specs. I went down and had a look at the light. I couldn't, I didn't shoot with it, but it was like a private viewing of the light. Went down, was kind of shown the specs and what was possible with it, and then I kind of went away and put together a proposal to kind of send to them that I thought showed off some of the qualities of the light, right? Let me just bring that up there. So yeah, like I said, so this was just a very rough proposal. I grabbed some shots when I was there looking at it. Oh, there you go, look, July, yeah. And really what I'm trying to do when I'm doing this for something like this proposal for this is really trying to pull out what's kind of unique about a product. And this doesn't need to be a light. This can be, any product that you're kind of working with or brand that you're working with. You kind of need to understand what's the USP or unique selling point for these, for the product. And then you've got to work out how you can kind of show that off, right? So this is kind of what I would typically do, break down everything that it does, and then kind of pull out elements that is going to be what I think is very important about this unit. And for me, one of the most important aspects was this triple white chip that I mentioned earlier on, which means that you have a chip at like a very warm chip at 1700 Kelvin, one at 4000 Kelvin, right, and then one at 9,000 Kelvin, so in here, which means that across the Kelvin range, you have a very even exposure, right? It's not like, one white chip is what it used to be years ago, and then, everybody else uses 2 white chips. What can happen is that, sure, where the 2 chips overlap here in the middle is usually where the light's brightest, around about 5600 Kelvin, right? And then if you want to be using the light at, sometimes it's only 6,500 Kelvin. I think my Jun light only goes up to 6,500 Kelvin, which is not very cold at all. And then it goes down to like 3,000 Kelvin, right? So usually at the extreme ends, it's not as bright. It's because they're using the two white chips separately, whereas in the middle, typically around 5,600, that's when it's the brightest. So what this is doing is it's kind of eliminating that variance. It's going to be pretty much the same exposure throughout. But it also means that you're not fudging the numbers with some of these colors as well. So we saw before in the Aperture article early on where I was going, look, ironically, the Aperture is desperately trying to make tungsten, right? It's trying to make these tungsten lights again, looking at the waveform and looking at how to make this clean tungsten waveform. And that's what a lot of people are doing. Whereas this here, the L600 head here with this very rich, warm chip at 1700 Kelvin is gorgeous. Like it was like no variance at all in the color that I could tell. Other brands will kind of fudge the numbers. I reviewed the Godox, Coke can lights not too long ago, and they quoted like a 2000 Kelvin, but what they're doing is it's not using the Kelvin chip to do that. It's using the red and green chips combined to make orange. You guys will know that from previous streams. Those of you that have been paying attention to additive color theory will know that the red and green making the yellowy orange color, and that's how they're doing it. But there is green fringing in some of those Kelvin ranges, especially if you're using hard lights that would create that kind of chromatic aberration between gobos and that sort of thing. You start to see that fringing, whereas this doesn't happen with this head. So this to me was something that I really wanted to kind of show off, was this triple white chip. I think is very, very cool. As a result, they have like 99 TLCI, right, which is like the highest I think ever. Right, 97 is very high, but yeah, 99 is the highest I've seen. The other thing about this light is that it can flash. So this is something that we've kind of mentioned before. I will go into it a little bit more detail, but when you switch to flash mode in this light, it actually goes down to it switches to stops, not percent, which is kind of cool. So those of you who use LEDs, it's 1% to 100%. As soon as you switch to flash mode, it actually goes into stops like we used to. So if you can go up from 2 to 3 is one stop of light, which is very, very cool. Liquid cooled, no ballast. So again, it's just a single monoblock. Liquid cooled means that like the fan, like these were on all day, and sometimes at like 80% and above, and I never heard the fan come on once. So Richard in chat mentioned earlier on about when you don't have the ballast or the block external to it, then putting all that inside the head itself can mean that it gets noisy. I will say this did not happen, not once when I was using it. So pretty impressive, the liquid cooling in it. Just a few more bits of nerdy elements that I didn't think was kind of important to bring out. Color space, I will go into this in more detail once I have the unit myself, but you actually have like this gamut menu in these lights, which is wild, like super nerdy. But yeah, like being able to assign a gamut to an LED head is nuts. Yeah, absolutely nuts. We're just talking about the power and the Profoto app and that sort of things. So LEDs that flash. So this is something that's kind of new to the industry. Those of you who've kind of been following me for a while know that Rotalight was kind of like one of the OG companies that kind of brought out LEDs that could flash, and not too many other people copied them. It's super useful if you need to capture something crisply, right? It's all well shooting LEDs and you're shooting at 125th of a second, it's, okay, but if you can get the LED to flash as well, you can get an even faster kind of snap of time. Even Alan mentioned in chat there a minute ago about like the lights being bright. So on the day of the shoot on Friday, what we were doing was we actually shot with like the lights were super close to the model, and to Alan's point there, we switched it to flash mode so that it wasn't super bright on the model's eyes as well. This is useful as well. We used to do this with flash back in the day, where in a very dimly lit room, the pupils open up, right? Which aesthetically speaking is typically more attractive, more appealing to have these wide open pupils. So sometimes people would shoot in very low light and then flash so that the pupils are nice and wide as they're trying to let in tons of light that isn't there, and the flash would capture those beautifully wide pupils. It's something that you don't see too much of now, but it is something that we used to do back in the day with flash. But this is the only LED light in the world that can flash in full RGB, right? That's a cob light. So what I mean by that is you've got hundreds of Profoto modifiers that you can use on this RGB LED that can flash, and it's the only one in the world. Like I haven't seen anything even remotely close to it. I know like the rotor lights can do it, but they're panels. This is the only kind of cob light that does it. So I think, you know, me kind of using a setup to kind of show that off was going to be super important as well, right? And this rest of the proposal just goes into the panel and that sort of thing, just talking about other aspects that we didn't end up covering with the panel. It just did the L600. So I'm just kind of showing you that because it just gives an overview of how I'm going to be approaching a shoot like this and giving an idea, and then obviously the final setups that we were kind of going for, to setups that I'm kind of giving them as ideas to use and to show off the Kelvin range of the light here, which was a setup, and I'll show you some BTS in a second. It's absolutely gorgeous colors on this, absolutely outstanding. But again, this is something this was a setup that I could utilize extremes of the Kelvin range, which I think was like 2,000 to 15,000 or something insane like that. So I was able to use both of those extreme Kelvin ranges in the same shot with this one, which is very, very cool. Next one was showing off the flash capabilities of the L600, right? So using the flash on these to kind of capture the subject being frozen, but also using a kind of a long exposure technique where I'm using the continuous mode of the L600 behind and then the flash L600 in the foreground to kind of capture it. This is a technique that I absolutely love and have used many times over the years, and I thought it was a perfect example to combine both ambient and flash in the same shot and kind of show off what the actual light could do. And then lastly, this one again, like it's a full RGB light. You know, we've got tons of colors. Like, what can we do to kind of show off the huge color range of this light and some of the beautiful colors that we can get for it? And this was kind of a good example in my mind, a good setup to kind of show that off. So that was the proposal. That was the setups that I sent as ideas. A couple of months go by. I honestly don't know if other people were presenting proposals as well who had to be signed off. But a couple of months later, it gets signed off, and then we are into full swing with actually getting the shoot done. Which, like I said, was finally done last Friday. Yeah. Let's have a look. Just checking on questions here. See, we're talking about Blad's talking about the bars. Only has 3x4, 60 minutes. Oh, so it does have the bars. Yeah, the old Nikon only had 3x2. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Richard says, can you fire Rotolight with a Profoto flash? So you should be able to. You can fire Rotolight with a Profoto flash. So you should be able to mix. If you're talking about the triggers, yes, yeah, the new ARS2 Pros, you can damn near use any trigger that you want on it. In fact, I've used triggers that it says that you can't use, and it still fires it. So yes, you can certainly use the Profoto trigger alongside the Rotolights. Yeah. And Brogden says, I'm an old Hensel flash guy myself. Give me 10 strobes, Snoot, strip banks, lantern. It's party to me. But yeah, I mean, look, it's if you need that ridiculous power at huge ranges, then yeah, to really capture something like that, then yeah, flash is gonna give that to you. Kind of reminds me of the Palo Versi Craig McD. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very kind, but yeah, those guys are masters. Yeah, they're beautiful work. Is there a power boost in the flash emitter Rotolight? Richard, these are great questions, and it's great that you're asking these, and this is something that I want to find out. I was using these lights. I'd never used these lights before, so I turned up on Friday to do the shoot. Typically, I would, as I'm sure you can understand, typically I would like to have at least played with the light before I'm literally thrown not only out into the studio to actually shoot with it, but I'm also being filmed as well. So they had a film crew there that they were filming me going through, talking through the lights and like the setups as well. So I would absolutely love to spend more time with this, because that is a great question. What Rich is asking there is that typically with the rotor lights, for example, you can set it to flash mode, and it'll basically overclock the LEDs for a split second to give you like an extra stop of power. So I do not know whether these can do that or not. Yeah. And because this flash just wraps around a subject differently to me than LED, I can't always get what I want from LED unless it's like a Kinoflow LED. Look, I'm broken. I shot strobes for over 20 years. Trust me, I was very, very skeptical. And I was in a room at the time being poo-pooing LEDs aggressively, right? So I've certainly been where you are. I'm not saying that LEDs are going to be right for you, but I will say that I was in the room poo-pooing LEDs fairly aggressively at the time, and there was a rotor light representative there, and I was giving him a tough time, and I started to use them. I was there already. It was like, fine. I was immediately blown away by what they could do in terms of the quality of light, especially the panels like the rotor lights can do as well. So I wouldn't write them off. They're either going to be for you or they're not. But trust me, I was certainly very, very, very skeptical to begin with. Yeah. I used to use some wild things with a bare bulb flash and bouncing it. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a huge amount that you can do with flash. You can modify it, of course you can. For me personally, the kind of the positives of LED outweigh the negatives. Really, the negatives is power, right? And like if I was outside shooting, sports or something like that on the side of a pitch, and then I'm trying to flash somebody a long way away outside in daylight, I'm not going to be using LED. I'm just not. But all the colors, the flexibility of those colors, the Kelvin range that I can dial in, and yes, you can go, well, you can use CTOs and CTBs on flash, and you can do that. You absolutely can. But for me, tweaking colors is something that is absolute bliss to me, right? Even at a peak of my colored gel work years ago, I still had like 24, maybe 30 different colored gels, whereas this is millions of colors that you can just tweak. And if I'm using four colors side by side in a shot, and I'm trying to get harmonies in colors, I love the control that these RGB LEDs give me. But it's not going to be for everybody. Yeah. So fast forward to the shoot on Friday. Then let's have a look at what we got up to. Let's see. Let's have a look what we got here. Let's see. So we got into the studio. Let's see. Let me find the one that was. Yeah, let me find this one. So this is the studio. This is up in London. This was Shutter House Studio. This is that was the 1600, right? You can see that big boy there, right? So beautiful studio space. So that was a 1600. So we didn't actually use the 1600 for any of the shoots that I was doing. They used the 1600s to light me when we were shooting video, but I didn't use so I was using these here. So as you can see, the 600 there. Okay. Here you go. Just give you some idea of scale here. So that's does anybody shoot Profoto flash at the moment? Does anybody shoot with the B20, or either the new ones or the older ones? Yeah, the B20s and B30s. Yeah. So that's the 1600 versus the B20 there. You can see the size of it. So the B20 is very small, really, for what it is. Great little flash, but yeah, you can see the size of it there next to the 1600. That thing is just a monster. Yeah. What else do we get up to? We got some of the ones here. That one. Oh, it's just gel packs, right? Which I've found kind of ironic. One of the things that Profoto wanted to do was kind of show that you could use the LEDs with the flash, right? So in one of these setups, I've actually had the B20 on the, I think the color wash. I actually had the B20 on the background behind the model with one of the gels on it, right? So an orange gel on it. So it's actually combining both, like the older flash with the newer LED, which I'm sure I don't need to explain that to you guys, but it's very, very, very easy to do, right? Just combining both of them. Yeah. What else do we have? What's the last set? It's this one here. So this is the one where I was using the Kelvin range. So I remember I'm just shooting this on iPhone, so the iPhone doesn't know what to do with this 2000 Kelvin back here, yeah, and it's kind of neutralized her face here. But the shots that they're able to get is just beautiful with it. It's just absolutely, just such a rich orange color from it. It's kind of difficult to explain, but yeah, the shots look absolutely beautiful. So we've got the, what is it, 15,000 Kelvin on the foreground here, and then we have the 2000 Kelvin on the background behind. And this is the time where, to Alan's point earlier on, we took, switched it to flash mode. So this is in flash mode now. So it's not just super bright in her face, right? This is switching to flash mode. So there's just little pops of light, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've had a quick glance at some of these. I've already started to retouch the first set of images, and they are looking good. They're looking really good. What's this one? This was the color one. So you see it back there. So that's the B20 with a gel on it, back there. So I'm mixing the L600s with the B20 with a gel, old school, yeah, and it's like the colors were clean, man. Very, very clean, extremely clean, yeah. And this is in Lightroom, remember? Like these raws were just gorgeous. Even on the D850, guys. Like, imagine if we'd taken this on a proper camera. Can you imagine how good it would have looked? Yeah, these I was very impressed with the yeah, it looked absolutely nuts. So smooth. And again, having the ability to kind of dial these in and tweak them was to get these harmonies was great. Yeah, very, very cool. What else? I think we did one. We really pushed for time, because bear in mind, not only we do 4 setups on the day, that I do 4 shoots on the day with these lights I'd never used before, but also filming, right? So they're filming me talking about it, and we got to do walkthroughs of all the setups and explaining what everything's doing and that sort of stuff. So like, we got a huge amount done in that day. So 4 setups, and then the last setup here, which again, just using this kind of ambient set here, right? So again, iPhone's kind of ruined it, but we got tungsten lights up here, and then I'm just adding this big fill light here, right, which is matching the kind of Kelvin of the tungsten on the walls behind her. We got a beauty dish on the L600 here, and we got a hard light here as well. Yeah. So pretty rushed on this last set. Not over the moon about it, but we managed to we were running short on time, and again managed to pull that off as well. So that was good. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else in there. We looked at that one, yeah. Oh yeah, and then this one here, which was I don't know why that's not in there. I don't know why that video's not there. But basically, this is so we got our 6x6 scrim back there, and we got our beauty dish here with on the flash, and then we're doing the kind of the long exposure effect there. Yeah, I don't know where that video is, but yeah, I'll see if I can find it. What's this one? Oh yeah, it's just a shot of that. Yeah, I thought I brought all the videos across. That's stupid of me. Unless it's still in the downloads folder. I don't think so. No videos there. Yeah, no. I'll have to get it another time. But you get the idea. We got a lot done. But yeah, very, very cool. Models, all the models great on the day. Stylist was cool. Makeup was phenomenal. Yeah, gorgeous makeup that we had. So yeah, the shots aren't ready, but I will just show you just a quick sneak out what I've started to work on, just because like they are looking good. They are looking good. So I mean, that's the raw, and then yeah, these are the ones that I've been working on. There's a bunch here. I won't go through all of them. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful colors. Yeah, yeah, everybody did a great job. And again, like, you know, these are still in Photoshop. But yeah, like the colors, I was very, very impressed with. I cannot wait to get this myself and really kind of see what it can do, because questions that you guys have had, I have the same questions as well, and I'm kind of curious as to what we can, what this thing can do, especially as soon as you can modify this flash now. Is nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. So very exciting. Yeah, like I said, Profoto have come in late to this. They've come in late, but they are coming in strong. I will give them that. Yeah, yeah. Is there a lantern accessory highlight grid with the honeycombers with it? Well, this is a Profoto attachment, so you can, I don't know, what was it called? OCF? Is it called on Profoto? What is it? Share the light? What is it called? Stills? Shop? Yeah, so like it takes any of their modifiers. Yeah. Yeah. So shop by product, yeah. So they got, I don't know, 150 modifiers or something like that. So the Fresnels or umbrellas, like all the Profoto modifiers that they have will work on it. So yeah, like the whatever they have, I'm sure they have a lantern or something like that. Like they certainly have tons of honeycombs and that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like your subjects get more tired when using LED strobes, see difference in their mood? I don't know. I mean, look, with the greatest respect, if you're dealing with professionals, you're not going to notice it, right? Models would be under tungsten lights in the past, which were extremely bright and extremely hot, and it'd be fine. I certainly, no, I'm not seeing any of the professionals that I'm working with complaining that these lights are slightly brighter than a flash going off. Personally, yeah. Hey Wayne, how you doing, mate? I have some little LED portable tubes I enjoy. Forget the name though. Tubes. Yeah, I mean, like tubes are great, right? I mean, tubes are really, really good. I've used a bunch of tubes in the past, and I love the light that they give. Like, it's just not modifiable, which I think is what makes this kind of exciting, for one, like with the flash and the LED being modifiable on the Profoto fit is very, very cool. Yeah. You do have like a bunch of gels. Well, there is that as well. Yeah, there is that as well. I'm just glad I had the gels in the bag to play with the flash. I tell you what was funny though, Unbroken, was you have all this kit and then I didn't have any tape. Right, normally I carry tape and stuff to tape the gels on. So it's like, shit, I gotta go around and hunt for some tape to put the gels on. It did make me chuckle because it was a normal problem years ago, like finding the tape and it unsticking and all that sort of crap and the gels warping and all that sort of stuff, and like I haven't had to deal with that like for years. So I did find it funny. Yeah, it's just a simple thing like trying to attach the gels is it used to be an issue. Yeah. Did you get to take the lights home and play with it further? So these were good question, Steve. These were the pre-production models. So there was a couple of things in there that maybe that I would need to check, right? So these are the pre-production models. I am going to be getting one. Hopefully, fingers crossed, to get one by the end of the year. I think even when you go to buy one, that they're not available yet. Like they've been announced and that sort of thing, but they're still being manufactured or whatever. So I mean, they're going to be available imminently. Hence why I need to get these images out. But yes, I am going to be getting one by the end of the year. So look, I will certainly be testing it and seeing what it can and can't do, and finding out what it's useful for, what its limitations are, and what its benefits are. There was tons that we just didn't get to play with. Like it's super nerdy, but the color gamut profile in the light itself is wild to me. Like being able to assign color gamuts to the RGBs in the light itself is nuts. Is like, that's, I mean, it seems so obvious to me. Like, why the hell is that I've never seen that before. Like, why is that not a standard feature? You know, if you're shooting in a certain profile, the light will only give you colors within that profile, which is, yeah, it's like super niche, super nerdy, but still things like that I just haven't had a chance to even play with at all. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a ton that I want to play with. Yeah. And I used to use everything Profoto, Dynalight, Alien B. Profoto was so heavy. You going back to the OG packs and stuff? Yeah, the packs were monstrous. Yeah, a little bit of a ring light effect going on there. Sarah Moon colors. Not sure which one you're referring to there. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a ring light effect, personally, in my opinion, from my experience of ring lights. Yeah. I mean, look, I was certainly paid well to do this campaign, and yeah, so take from that what you will, but they're certainly not paying me to say nice things. Yeah. You scrim the backlight. If you're referring to the long exposure one, then yes, that's a 6x6 scrim panel. Yeah. Trevor says I bought a set of nanlight pavo tubes. 30C2s, only ever used them once because I couldn't get the saturation right. I really want to use them more. Look, I think, yeah, the pavo tubes are good though. Yeah, I certainly think like the pavo tubes are among the better tubes out there. I mean, they're pricey, but they are very, very good. Yeah, yeah. So this is a single, so six kilos. So this is everything encased in it. I don't think that that's too heavy for a 600 with no ballast or anything like that. That's the whole thing. I think weight to power ratio, that's not too bad. But I mean, it's not light. No, yeah. What are the chances you demoing them at the photography show? I don't know. I'm guessing low. You have to remember that these are kind of coming in at the cinema level. If you guys. This is because what I was getting confused at here. You see how Profoto have kind of separated their site out here. So we have stills and cinema. These 600s are definitely a hybrid light. I do think that we will see stills shooters using them 100%. But they're in the cinema line, so I don't think we're going to see them at many photography shows. You may do, depending on how they do, but these lights in the last year or so have been demoed at film shows, right? So cinema, TV and cinema expos is where they're being shown at the moment. So again, like very privileged to be, as a still shooter, to be involved in this for sure, but these are going to be primarily going to be used on film and TV sets, I should think. Yeah. Although these smaller heads will absolutely be hybrid lights. Yeah, I mean this thing is not tenable to be carrying around, but yeah, I don't know how much that is. It's like 12 kilos or something like that. It's monstrous. Yeah, but so they are keeping the brand, should we say, separate at the moment, right? Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at this spot small. So I thought they were winding me up on the day because I was having to talk through the set. So I used this modifier on the day on Friday, and they were like, "No, it's called a spot small." I was like, "Is it not called a small spot? Are we sure?" Like, no, it's called a spot small. So I was like, if they're winding me up, I'm just gonna look like a right idiot. But it is actually called a spot small. Okay, fine. Yeah, I will keep you posted. The images themselves were going to be part of articles and that sort of thing. So I'll be writing the articles, retouching the images, and like there's like they're definitely keen to get them back. So as soon as all that's out, I think they have like a whole section on their website where people break down images and that sort of stuff. So maybe it'll go on there. But yeah, so there's going to be at least 3 articles on these, going over the lighting setups and what I used and how it was broken down. Plus there'll be videos and stuff as well on this as well. So as soon as I know more, I will let you know. But I'm sure it's going to be imminently, by the end of this year, I reckon. So yeah. as soon as I have more to share, I will certainly let you know. And looking forward to getting my own L600C for sure. Yeah. And Broken, I agree with you. I think the scrim has so many different uses that I think many people don't or write it off. I think, and maybe that's because of like they're like, oh, I don't have much space and that sort of thing. I have a 8-foot scrim set up in the in the living room, which because I use it so much, whether it be for background or even fill light and that sort of stuff. So when I have to shoot here, I've got a studio here at home, and yeah, but I use it all the time. Yeah, I love scrims. Yeah. Diffusion, yeah, sorry, yeah, it's the scrim is this thing back here is a 6x6 scrim, so this is a full diffusion. You can get them in like quarters and halves and that sort of thing, but this is full. So yeah, I think I can show you. I might have it in the BTS. I had a BTS camera that wasn't plugged in, tethered, and I think that had some on there. Let's have a look. That's the spot small, right? Yeah, there's a scrim there. Right, so the light is into the wall, and there's a scrim there. Yeah. You're going back, yeah. So I'm broken. You're talking about the like the ring light. You saying the 15-inch ring light was a game changer when it came out? How far back are you going there? Back in the 90s, for example, ring lights used to be everywhere, right? And it was just overused, and it kind of fallen out of favor. And you don't see them being used that much anymore now. I would imagine they're due for a resurgence, and I think there is. Yeah, I think there's definitely a time and a place for ring flash. Yeah, equivalent to 3 times B20s. Also, it's the photography and video show, but I don't remember Profoto doing the show directly. I don't even think they were there at the photo show last year, right? I don't think they were there. Yeah, £50 is nothing compared to lugging some speedotrons and color around. I'm broken. I am there with you. Like, I mean, I'm taking like the old even the old monoblocks weighed a ton. Yeah. So look, I mean, it's not to say that they aren't heavy, but compared to some of the older lights, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the power packs, Jesus Christ, those power packs would be backbreakers. Yeah. Okay, right. So that's that. Right, let's close down Lightroom. I don't think we need that. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Yeah. Oh, you guys will laugh. I had to shoot video. I think this was on the 85mm 1.4. It was wild, man. I had to shoot portrait for reels. Yeah. I sincerely hope they don't have to use that. Okay, right. Let's do the share shoot. Let's see what people have got. And David Sims for a minute. I'm not familiar with that name, actually. I have to have a look. Yeah. Okay. So, those of you who are new here, we do this share a shoot every live stream where you guys can share your shots here. We'll just pop a link in there if you haven't shared your image yet and you wanted to. It's certainly never too late to do so. Pop your image in there, head to that post there, and then go down to the comments and pop your image in the comments, and we will take a look at what you guys have been working on. Okay. This is useful if you kind of looking to, get some feedback on an image or something like that, or just want like maybe suggestions for alternatives, or tighten up the lighting or color grading or post-pro posing. You know, just really like the whole point of this is not to show off your work, but to get the opportunity for a different perspective on it, right? So let's have a look, see what we got here. So you got a bunch in here. Let's get cracking. Very colourful, this week. We got one from Tony. This is our resident shooter from Down Under. 2 RS60R LEDs for the background and the strobe with front curtain sync to freeze the model. So this is exactly what I was talking about, right? So when I was mentioning this before, this is exactly what I was talking about. It's great to see Tony playing with this setup. The blur is from the camera movement shot at quarter of a second. So Tony's really hurling that camera about. Yeah. Tony, I love this. I would, ironically, right, this is where that scrim comes in, because we have this horrendous hotspot here, in my opinion, that we could kind of knock back. If we would have a scrim here, this would kind of help to diffuse that hotspot and kind of bring more of that color back into the shot. So credit where credit's due with Tony. Tony is always trying something new, whether it be out in on the street doing cosplay stuff, or what he's always doing something new. But you can do the similar sort of thing here, right, where we can have the color in the background, but it's without the hotspots, right? And that's where like where your scrims or diffusion panels can help to break up that hotspot to give you more of a clean color, right? So that's really all I mean here. Either dial this down, which I know is crazy, because like a quarter of a second it gets super bright. So it's just about managing that. But this is a tricky technique to do, Tony. This is very tricky. This is not easy. This is certainly one of the more advanced lighting techniques out there. You've got a lot to think about. Plus you've got to translate a lot of this to the model. Half the time you're working in the dark, and you're certainly focusing in the dark. So there is a bunch to go wrong with this. So look, don't get me wrong, Tony. This is an excellent shot. Just something to bear in mind if you wanted to give it another go in the future. Yeah. Let's have a look. Just call some used stuff cheap. Yeah. Like the clothespins are good instead of the tape. Clothespins. Oh, right, gotcha. Yeah. I was clothes spinning. I was like, what on earth? So one from Sterling here. I'm not convinced on the angle of this one. Yeah, but I had 2 ones above on the bed frame. Okay. Govee neon rope. I've never heard of that. Ad hoc, just fooling around. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, this kind of ghostly lighting effect. I'm kind of into it. Yeah, I would have definitely had this rotated personally. I know she's lying down, but yeah, I definitely would have. But this is cool. This is the Govee neon rope. This better not be anything dodgy, Sterling. Okay. Oh, you control it with the app. Yeah. Okay. So 5 meters. 5 meters for 100 quid. All right. Oh, the white one. Or is this color? Oh no, it is color. Yeah. Okay. Control it with the app. I wonder how much variance you can get in it. Is it just change the color throughout, or how many sections can you break it down to? Yeah. Like you can break it down into sections. Okay. Dictate the sections. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it looks clean. I'll give it that. Like, it's no, unless it's faked. So when I say clean, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it, like LEDs, right, where it'll have hotspots here, like hotspots all the way along, where you can see the individual LEDs. It looks like this is pretty creamy. Yeah. Which is good. Maybe it's just too bright here, but again, it looks good. Yeah. So I suppose the issue with this is that as long as you have to place it facing upwards, but yeah, that's cool. So you had 2 wands above her, so I presume that the kind of the mini tubes or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah, very cool. I do kind of like this ghostly colouring effect, but yeah, Very cool, man. Very cool. I think a whole Pantone swatch book. Yeah, on the app it is crazy. I'm broken. Yeah, on the app where you kind of going through the colors. I like apps and stuff are great. I will say that I do still, I am still old school. I will tend to go over to the light and kind of manually adjust it as I'm kind of looking at it rather than looking at the color here. I do prefer looking at what the actual color's going to translate to, right? But having the ease of use of the apps is very useful. Although we've spoken about this on the stream before, how over time you've got Landlights, you've got Profoto, maybe you've got some Godox in there, maybe you've got something else. So now you've got like 3 or 4 different apps open up at the same time, and they all got to be synced and Bluetoothed, and sometimes it's just more trouble than it's worth just to go over to the light and adjust it. Yeah. Most likely be in the air over flying over the Pacific when we do the live stream, going back to the US for about 8 weeks. Oh, nice, man. Yeah. So I think those of you, we spoke about some of the Sterling's work. I think you're in Thailand, Sterling, is that right? And he shared some like this crazy location shoot that he found with color gels and pipes and very industrial setup last time, which was super cool. Safe travels, mate. Catch you when you get back. So from Anders here's a picture from this weekend's shooting. Often like to blend the warm and the cool colors. Love it. Yeah, my pictures. I used a feathered 90cm octabox, full CTO, camera left as a key light. Okay, so we've got this beautiful warmth coming over here. Who was in chat a minute ago? Alan, were you in chat talking about 90cm octa? You can't go wrong with that. Yeah. So full CTO, camera left. So those of you not aware, he's talking about color temperature orange gel, right? We've been talking about the Kelvin ranges on LEDs. He's using gels in this one. Key light with a white 105cm umbrella, Lee Lagoon blue gel, which is my favorite blue gel. Yeah, it's kind of a petrol color. Yeah, teal color, camera right. Fill in color in the shadows. So he's using color gels and the warmth of CTO as well. So he's probably got his camera set to around, I don't know, 5,000 Kelvin, maybe a little bit cooler, depending on the warmth of that gel. But yeah, very cool. See, this is the other like the moire, or however you say it, moire. Can you see this effect here? Is there any way to avoid it with digital? Like, is that something? Because it used to be something that was really bad years ago, and I think we kind of just gave up on trying to fix it with digital chips. But this moire effect can happen. Like you see it on, like if the weatherman is wearing like a tightly patterned shirt or something like that, and you start to get these weird waves of movement on the clothing and that sort of stuff. Wool jackets will sometimes do it as well. But yeah, this moire effect where we have this pattern, because this is just a net, but we can see these weird kind of like almost topographical map type contour lines and stuff happening in the fabric. Is there anything you can do about it? Like, I get the feeling we just gave up on it. We just like, yeah, it's just like we just get used to it now, because it didn't used to be a thing with film, But it's funny. We just don't notice it anymore. The spot small looks cool. It is good. Yeah, it is tight though. Yeah, it is tight. You do need to put it back to get some spread on it. Yeah, I'm going back to 95, 2000. Yes, it was everywhere. It was, man. Yeah, it was rough. Yeah, it was everywhere. Yeah. Sometimes it's not that bad, but at least in Capture One you can reduce it. I don't know if Lightroom has. Maybe it does. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, moire is a problem. On my Fuji, the moire is minimal. Really well card. Interesting. Okay. So, but, I mean, look, like I said, it is something to do with digital. I mean, because it didn't used to be a problem on film. Not that I remember. And you could go, well, maybe the quality of film was too low. It didn't pick it up. Maybe. But, yeah, it used to be really bad, and I just get the feeling that it didn't get any better. We just gave up on trying to avoid it, because you still see it on TV, like the news or something like that. Obviously, they don't let it happen in films. I wonder how because it never happens in films, right? Cinema. So I wonder if they've figured out a way to eliminate it, or they just make sure that they don't wear anything or have anything that would create it. Yeah, interesting. Capture one can capture. Oh, you guys, I'm gonna have to open it up. I gotta check now. I gotta check. Yeah. So what? Be in develop module. Oh, this is that guy's preset, the film preset I was talking to you about earlier on. I just downloaded it and chucked it on one of these. So where is denoise? We got raw, super resolution, super resolution. I haven't tried that yet. Has anybody tried that? Luminance, color, details, smoothness. No specific moire slider there. It's not going to be. You got color fringing. No moire there. They just got fake lens blur there. Post crop, yeah, nothing there. Okay, so maybe there isn't something specific. I mean, unless I suppose you could kind of cheat it and get rid of it with some of these detail sliders here. Yeah, but nothing specific that I can see there. Okay. Strike one for Lightroom. Chalk one up for Capture One. Fair dues. Yeah. Okay. So we got one from Alan here. Had a main softbox to my right of model and a small. So we got one main softbox over here. A smaller kicker, light to help out some light to the legs. Nice. Okay. Wanted only one light, but as a small space, it's hard to get the light fall off I want. Time to adapt. I had a gridded softbox above the model to help separation, some editing to get rid of the strands and a bit of toning. Okay, so let me just read that again. So Alan's saying we've got at a main softbox to right of model. So right, is it the camera right or right, or like right over here, as in it feels like camera right. Yeah. Yeah, so the softbox over there, and small kicker to the left to help him some of the fill and shadows here. Okay, yeah. Wanted to only use one light, but space is small. Okay, so what Alan's saying there is typically you could get away with using one light, and you would maybe push that light further back, right? Which is smart, yeah. Which is smart. So let me just grab my brush here. So what he's saying is that, you know, he's got one softbox here. Because he doesn't have the room to put it further back, it's going to be pretty bright here, and then it's going to drop off to shadow fairly quickly here, right? So what Alan's saying is typically what he would want to do is if he had more room, he would bring the softbox back here, right? You'd turn it up a little bit, but now the exposure on the face and the leg would be far more similar. So he's right in that with small spaces you can't really do that, so you've got to cheat it. You've got to have this light in close, and you bring another one in here to kind of cheat the effect. And I would say, Alan, you pulled it off because you really can't tell that you're using like a fill light in here. So I would say you definitely pulled it off. Yeah, which is good. Yeah, which is good. It definitely looks like it's got that one light vibe, which is good. Yeah. Had a gridded softbox above to help the separation. Okay, so do you mean gridded softbox maybe on the background? I can't see too much. Oh, maybe here. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I can see it there. It's good, man. That's good. That's good stuff. Yeah, lit well. It's clean, right? I think sometimes people can definitely fall into the trap of going, I've got 3 lights, 4 lights. I'm going to be showing off that I'm using 3 or 4 lights. But this is clean. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is good stuff, man. I do hate these shadows on the floor, though. When you're using multiple lights, it's a pain in the ass, but, yeah, can't be helped. Yeah. So we need to get rid of stands. Oh, stands. Okay, yeah. I started to see this here. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. And the toning is clean, right? Bringing these browns of the skin and the background together. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. And it's good to have some data here in this very dark coat. I think it would be very easy for that just to fall off into jet black. And I think you've lit it really well. I think these beautiful highlights here, right? Even a little bit of a highlight here, even got some data in here as well, but you haven't overlit it. You know, you haven't done the Netflix effect to it where you've given it 24 stops of dynamic range. I think this is good stuff, man. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, nicely done. Clean. clean. Yeah. Yeah. Zagreb says I always mask the area that I'm trying to fix because otherwise it can affect the whole image when trying to remove moire. Okay, so you're saying in Capture One you can actually, yeah, so you can actually even separate. It's not like you have to add. That's a good point actually, yeah, because on like image noise and that sort of stuff in Lightroom it's the whole image, but what you're saying is you can target moire in Capture One. That's cool. Okay. So on Broken they're actually removing the anti-aliasing filter. Now moire is more of a problem. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I have heard of that actually. Yeah. That says camera right. Okay, yeah, for the kicker was on the right too. Okay. So I see it was bringing in there. Okay. So yes, you got one here, and then it's acting as a fill on this side. I was looking at the catch lights, going, I can't see a catch light on this side. Maybe it's very low, but yeah, I was looking at the catch lights here on the highlights, the specular highlights here, and I was curious. I could see we had one up here, and I was like, okay. We can see we had another one here. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Smooth. Top Hats No Tails Trinity, nice. Good stuff. Clean. Nice edge light here as well. Make sure the model's nice and separated from the background. Clean. Even on the hat here as well. We got this nice. We got some separation here with a nice highlight, clean highlight. Even a nice, beautiful highlight down there as well. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. When I'm talking about this kind of checkerboard lighting or lighting separation, this is kind of what I'm referring to. Where I like this light, dark, light. You know, where it's clean like this, light, dark, light, dark, light. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's tricky to do sometimes, and the pose can be really important sometimes for it to be super clean. But yeah, thinking about having clean lighting like this, especially with highlights and shadows, you know, really good. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let's have a look. It definitely looks like CTO, maybe 2 stops. You're talking about this one up here. This is warm, yeah, very warm. But it could also be done with, because this is not CTB, so it could be done with the camera Kelvin as well. So he could have been shooting at 5,500 Kelvin to make this warmer, and then because this is a blue gel, so could have done it that way. So we've got Chris's one here. So post Jake's Color 2.0 workshop. So those of you who don't know, Chris attended my Color 2.0 workshop a couple of weeks ago, where we're kind of playing with LEDs, understandably, right? Using LEDs and using these beautiful washes of color here. So this is his first attempt at trying to replicate one of the setups that we went through, which was the 2 Neos in the silver Brolos edge lights, AOS's key, super close to the model, turned way down, filled from bounce, V flat in the front. This is great stuff, man. Yeah, absolutely good stuff. Good stuff, Chris. Yeah, really good. Got these clean highlight and shadow here, and shooting full body as well. You know, credit where credit's due. It wouldn't catch me doing that. So yeah, like, you know, done a great job there. Still think maybe this key light is a little bit hot here on the head, but otherwise separation looks good. Yeah, we've got these nice pink edge lights here. I can see it here on the arm, on the you know, even the pink is staying strong on the pink cotton glove things. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good job. The background's nice as well, actually. Kind of, because this is one of those things where if you're shooting full body, sometimes you get this weird color gradient on the floor, which can look good, can look bad. I actually don't mind it in this setup. We did it when we were doing the workshop. We had it where the pink was kind of coming up the backdrop. I actually kind of liked the natural gradient it gave, which is cool. Yeah, this is really good though, man. Yeah, really good. Oh, I've got another one here. Sorry, didn't see this. So from Jochen, from the same session as my pick in the last live stream. First time shoot. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, first time shooting a model. First time using gels. Okay, so a lot going on that day then, Jochen. Yeah, same setup. 2 potato strobes. blue center right. Okay, so we got the blue coming in here, coming, on the face here, blue center right, red hard to the left, so we got the red catching the arm and hand here, yeah, and it's coming across here as well. So, okay, yeah. Love the posture, slight issues with the clothes, colors though due to her neck muscles. I know this is a picture because of my question. How do you deal with stray hairs and its shadows? Okay, on the chest. Editing process seems to be really quite different from more natural color situations. Just me. Okay. So the reason, like the hairs and that sort of thing is like you just get them to brush their hair, or use conditioner, or use product to stop the flyaways from happening. Sometimes if it's just been washed and it's fluffy like this is, right, this has got no product in it, so this is just all fluffy. So yeah, just getting them to kind of comb some product through that will stop that from happening. I think maybe one of the things you're talking about here is the kind of the artifacting that's happening here, right? Am I able to zoom in on this or not? Yeah. So this kind of artifacting that's happening here is where you haven't separated the two colors, and we kind of spoken about that in previous streams with what happens when we overlay certain colors on top of one another, right? So what is it in here? So the cheat sheet here, we got the red and the blue, right? So this is what happens. This cheat sheet here kind of goes over the different effects that we get when we mix colored light. And what we've got here is the red and the blue, which is what you've just done. If anybody's interested, if they don't have that already, they can grab that there. So the red and the blue giving us this magenta tone, and that's what's happening here, right? Because like there is no magenta light in this shot, you're just using red and blue, and this is where it can happen with this artifacting, where we have this weird breakup effect here, and that can be very, very difficult to retouch, extremely difficult to retouch. So I would say the hairs is fine. I don't think anybody's expecting those hairs to be retouched. Like that's not going to be an issue. I don't think that people are going to moan about that. But people, like, yeah, where this is overlapping is not ideal. Yeah, and we can see it here, right? So we have the red on this side, the blue on this side, and where they overlap in the middle is where we get this pinky color. And remember, in the cheat sheet I've showed you, that is on a white wall. We're not dealing with white wall here, we're dealing with skin. So yeah, this is why we get this weird effect. So my advice to you is, if you want to continue doing this and playing with this, is to separate the lights more than what we have here, right? So let's have a look. So if we have our background here, right, and we have our model here in the middle, she's facing towards you, you have your camera here. At the moment we can see where the no shadow is here, right? So we can see that the red is kind of, maybe I'm going to use an umbrella just as an example, just because it's easy to show what's going on. So this is where these two lights are going to overlap here in the middle. So one solution to this is to keep them separate, right? So we can keep them separate, and then I would have maybe her looking over here rather than straight to you, and then when these two lights are separate, they won't overlap as much. Yeah, and that's how you can start to get some cleaner colors rather than these kind of banding, artifacting colors where they mix. Yeah. But this is the first time working with a model. Very, very brave to then use gels as well. So look, this is don't be discouraged. Using gels is tricky. Like, there is a lot to consider. There's tons to consider, way more than white light. So yeah, don't be put off by this for sure. Yeah. Right, let me just give this a quick refresh. Make sure we're not missing anybody. Don't have too many this week. Oh, Jamie, nice, man. This is looking good. I recognise that young lady. Done for our mutual friend Sophie, who's currently living her best life spending time in Tokyo. Very jealous. That'd be, yeah, I have to do Tokyo. It's been, yeah, I can't put it up any longer. This was a personal shot for her based on anime called Paradise Kiss. Oh, yeah. Cheap digital printed abstract pattern background. Case backdrops, 2 strobes, one high and behind with a grid, the other one with a beauty grid softbox aside. I think it was black mist. Yeah, love it, man. Yeah, love this glow. It's really good, man. It's really good. Really good. Yeah. Yeah, nice stuff. Nice stuff. Yeah, it's tricky with this blown out on the shoulders and stuff here. I think, and look, this is a personal shot as well, but when I'm doing something like this, I would use 2 lights. Right, when I have a flare light, that light is doing nothing else apart from flare. That's all it's doing. And then if I wanted to leave this light here, that would be a separate light. Yeah. So you can adjust those manually, because typically you need this quite bright to get the kind of the glow effect here, and then you'd have this light turned down to avoid the clipping here on the shoulders. But you know, great shot though, very, very cool. Is this glow coming from the filter as well? That's kind of interesting. Got this bloom effect on the filter. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I actually really like the colouring here. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'll just check there's no more. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Yeah, is that Janos? Is that who's Janos? So you just like saying heading out, or where was yours? What's your name in here? Janos? Is this you? That was fun. Glad YouTube actually recommended a decent channel for a change. Nice. Unbroken, Jake the Snake, WWE reference. You were showing your age there, Unbroken. You were showing your age. I know what you mean, but I think many young people won't know what you mean. Yeah. All right then, guys. Let's start wrapping this up. That's everybody's shots. We'll be having some questions about the workshops. Obviously, we did the Color 2.0 workshop, which did 2 of them recently, and they sold out. I am aiming to get some more workshops in the diary for next year, right? And maybe February, March, we're dodging it around the photography show here in the UK. But yeah, so keep an eye out for those. I will be putting out a post just to get interest, make sure that anybody's interested in the workshops, they can get the name on first so they don't miss out, just because these 2 sold out last time. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be doing that. In the meantime though, online workshops are still a thing. Still doing a bunch of those. Did a cinematic one on Sunday. I've got a big studio lighting in small spaces one tomorrow, Thursday. So still doing a bunch of these. If you're interested in some of my more kind of advanced lighting techniques, then these are all in here. Projectors, cinematic, right? All these are in here. So check those out as well. Christmas present, for yourself. Yeah. So check that out. And whilst you're on the website, if you're new, head over to the website and you can grab the free books here as well. If you're interested, grab those books as well. I know there's a couple of new people in chat. Check those out and download those free of charge. You can grab those. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah. All right, then, guys. Just check any last minute questions, comments. Oh yeah, please do what Jamie says. Yeah. So make sure you like, subscribe, do the bell thing, yeah, because you're getting feedback. Jake's magnificent hair for free. Always appreciate it, mate. Always appreciate it. Just remember, half the stuff we photographers obsess over, most people never notice. Don't kick yourself too much. That's true. I think as long as you feel like you're making progress, right? If you can look back on images that you took 1 or 2 years ago and you can go, whew, damn, definitely glad I'm not shooting like that anymore. As long as you're making progress, you don't really need to gauge it against anybody else. As long as you feel like you're getting better, then that's usually enough for me, right? All right then, guys. Thank you so much. Been an absolute pleasure as always. Lots coming up. We probably won't do the Christmas stream next time. We've probably got another stream before the Christmas stream. But yeah, tune in for that one because there'll be free presets and fun and games on that one. Probably closer in December. But yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys. Pleasure as always. Take care. Stay safe, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye for now.